Hey, welcome back. Whoa, wait, that's not good. Okay, hold on. We can live in this space. Welcome to the Void. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in to Matchball Grid. It's Thursday, April 28th. You'll never believe my Twitch verification code tonight. It has been such a party. Extra, and I was listening to that. This one's okay. The one before that, with the, like, sort of, it's called The Bambino by Anthony Vega. That one, honestly, somehow is one of my favorite by like a mile. How's it going, everyone? Parallel, how you doing? Monty Solana? Hey, y'all. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Let me just make sure, try and understand. So OBS crashed just a second before. This might be ugly. Okay, you see restream. Cool, cool, cool. And I can't show you Firefox. That is VLC. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Frisbee, how's it going? It won't let me pick Firefox though, which is a problem considering we use that for the stream. Okay. Sean, how's it going? Yeah, hold on. We can describe what things look like. So we're on the front page of Netrunner DB right now. And the deck list of the week actually is really exciting. But in OBS, hold on, I think we're getting there. What? Hold on, what's happening? Don't make me use Chrome today. Properties. YouTube. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're back in it. All right. Hey, if there was any doubt that this was live, which I have no doubt there isn't. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to Metro Grid. We had a pretty good day today. We had to go off. Maddie took a half day off today. We had to go off to get our health cards renewed, and it was a bit of a disaster on that part. We went to a very sad mall, and we were waiting in queue for about half an hour, and it was going to be another hour. So we decided we'd come back later. But we were out, so we went to a nice store, bought like a nice bike helmet. We went out for our first bike ride. Maddie hasn't ridden a bike. She hasn't ridden a bike in 23 years. Turns out it's like riding a bicycle. There's a reason they say that. So it's actually real nice altogether. And now we're here. So we're going to play some Netrunner. We've been playing a fair bit of Netrunner actually this week because we have our store championship, our first like organized competitive play in I feel like 2 or 3 years now. So there's a store championship if you can come this Saturday at Silver Goblin or Goblin d'Argent, as it shows up sometimes in the Google responses. Silver Goblin, and it'll be, I think it's at noon. I'm not actually sure the time it's at. I'd have to double check. It's this store. I love this store. It's a really, really nice store. So we're gonna see a lot of people who haven't been playing Netrunner for a long time. Like I know Roberto is gonna be there, which is always good. I haven't seen him in a long time. John is running this. Pat, I guess, will be there. But also there's a lot of players who started playing in the last couple of years who might be like startup players or like system gateway players. And so it's super cool to see. It's a standard format. Everyone coming in together and the jam in. So I'm really into it. Yo, Giles, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? So Maddie and I have been practicing like a fair bit of Netrunner. We put together some decks and we've been physically playing, which is like a really nice thing to do. And I got some issues going on right now where I have 2 decks. One of them is just like good stuff Anarch, and the other is an Az deck that I refuse to not enjoy. And I know one of them is more consistent and better than the other one, but which one do you think I want to play? And it's an issue because we have to marry the idea of success with the sort of like kind of faltering horse that we chose to ride to this event. So I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. The question showed up in Discord today as well, or yesterday, like, what, for this sort of event, what kind of deck do you bring? Do you bring a competitive deck or do you bring like a fun deck? And it's like, it's kind of what you want, right? It's kind of what you want. Are you cheating for Az? Giles too? Yo, can we talk about this for a second? Let me show you my Az list because I've been working on it. Just have fun. You say that, but then like I come back to the stream and it's such a big thing. And Sengren, I have no doubt you understand this too. Where like as someone who like makes content and spends time talking about Netrunner, and then you go to a store championship and you don't win it, like, you know. Okay, this is where we started last week. I just want to show you where I am because we've been building on this. This is the Az deck we played last week. I think this is exactly the one we played, and I thought it was really fun. Basically, this is based off of the Sebastian K kind of like Az at home, greedy Az list, but we wanted to modernize it and make it a bit more robust because that game was all value over time, which if you could get to the mid to late game, your engine was obnoxiously powerful, but the early game really was really a stinker. You were like really limping through it. And a big part of that is this deck didn't have any upfront economy. It didn't have sure gambles, bravados, diversions, had no disruption. It was just like 30 pieces of hardware, tech trader, tech writer, and then all this like greed suite. It did also have, yeah, it has bankroll stuff like that. And I wanted to modernize this. This is where we got. And so basically we added more events in, which is kind of goes against the idea of this prognostic queue loop, which really wants you to have it a hardware and program based package. We put Miss Bones in there because there's assets. Of course, there's so many assets. We added in a turning wheel for some multi-axis. I think we added that. Maybe we didn't. And then we added a clot in here because I have no doubt people are going to be fast advancing. We have Azef protocol out that is really exciting people, let alone, you know, people fast advance. Silver Goblin Sean says doesn't list it on their calendar. What's the best place to find AN events? Oh shit. That's a good point. It's probably not on their calendar. That's correct. I think this was posted on the Netrunner Montreal Facebook group. It's also, there's conversation about it in the Slack, which if you want to get invited to that, if you're not part of it, mtlnetrunner@gmail, just shoot them an email, or the Discord channel, which I can send you an invite just about right now, actually. In Montreal. Sean, you're in Montreal. Yeah, okay. You should be in those groups if you can. If you're not on Facebook, I'm not really on Facebook anymore. We can get you into the the what's it called? That would be great. Yeah. Okay, let me fish that up. 1 second. I've won 0 events in my life. Don't know why anyone thinks I'm good. Lol. Yeah, you talk about it really well though. Like your fundamentals at least are very quite good. Both you and Andre articulate your thoughts well. It makes for interesting content, whether you win or lose. There's definitely better players than me. Articulation's obviously a very important part. Passion's a very important part of it. And they're always like just joining along for a process of being better is important as well. Sean, let me get you the invite to the Montreal thing. The thing is, like, you should really email that Gmail channel because there's more conversation than this really dinky Discord channel that we almost never use. But I'll send you an invite. I'll post it. I guess I post it. I don't know how to. I can't whisper you. I'll just give me 1 second. Let me see it. Let me stall. Okay. So invite people. Can I just get like a generic invite? Edit. Okay. Copy. I'm going to try this. Sean, if you try this. Oh, that didn't work. Try doing that. It'll be posted by restream.io. That's me. Okay. I really like the look of this basically. Though I'm walking home from a Netrunner meetup. How did it go? This is where we are right now. And I like this. And I know this is not the best deck. I know there are better decks, but I like it. I feel like we've kind of like bridged the gap of where we're going. Now, I've tuned it a bit more, and the problem right now is I'm struggling how to spend my influence. So this is the modern version, which is starting to get a bit strange. We've cut down a bit on the hardware. We're down to 2 Prognostic Q Loop, which actually lines up to some of the Geist decks back that almost won Worlds like 2 years ago. We've added 3 Blueberry Diesel, which is a card I've never really liked. But a big part I found about this specific deck is this deck is so contingent on you drawing the right pieces to set up to spin up. If you don't find a tech trader, your economy is a bit busted. If you don't draw your masterwork, your draw engine is a bit busted. If you don't find an early, I think those are the 2 big ones, but you see what I mean, right? Like it's so important to find an early boomerang so you can contest remotes or be able to diversion of funds. So I'm actually excited to play 3 Blueberry Diesel in this deck, which is a bit bizarre. But so far in testing, I've actually really liked it. We're even further into the events and resources though. So the prognostics we cut down to 2 as well, just because it's less consistent. We're not running as often. Speaking of not running it often, we dropped a spy camera, but we dropped the 2 copies of what's it called? Of Bankroll, which is okay. Again, it's a value over time card, and I feel like I just want to be a bit more upfront. For that issue, we have a single simul chip, but the simul chip is like kind of hard to use. We are generally using it either to thread and clot at basically any expense or to reinstall revolvers. And the revolvers have been really good in this list. Being actually able to like deal with sentries for pennies feels so good. Like you're breaking trebuchets for 4 credits, and most of that's bad publicity. Like it feels fantastic. Now where things get weird is I don't know where to spend my influence. So far, the influence that I've agreed that I want to spend on is I want to spend a single simul chip just so the clot gets relevant. I want to spend a clot, so we're at 4 right there. On top of that, we have a Stargate, and I refuse to play this deck without like strong central pressure. This version did not have a Stargate. It only had a turning wheel, and I did not like it. I don't like the idea that we can't end the game when we want to end the game. So I put a Stargate in. It's the same thing you saw in the Geist list of 2 years ago. Sean, glad you made it in. I don't know if there's a link, invite into the thing, but post there, ping there, and someone will post you a Facebook link or tell you the time and the dates. It's not perfectly apparent on there. So we're on Stargate right now. And then this is where the influence I don't know where to spend. Firstly, we have a single paperclip, which is really good for 3 influence. Ideally, this deck actually doesn't install breakers until the mid to the late game. It's not like the old Geist decks where you could actually go pretty far off just Boomerang and Grappling Hook, because we don't have Grappling Hook. So the best we have is Boomerang, and then eventually when we want to install, like Paperclip is just so much better than Mockler, I don't really want to consider anything else. That's kind of the issue. There's a chance that maybe, I think it's only 1 influence left if we want to consider doing like Cleaver, but throwing this into the bin and then using this as a simul chip target is also like acceptable. From there, I'd rather run green diesel than blue diesel if we're looking to do whatever with influence. That's the issue, is I did have a diesel in here, but then the influence gets tight. Like I want to have a Reaver, because Reaver is so good in this deck if you get it early. It draws the first time you trash an installed card each turn, either the corpse or one of yours, but you can do it on the corpse turn very easily. You have so many trash cans, and do it on the runner's turn. This card is really, really good. If you draw in the mid game, it's okay. If you draw in the late game, it's pretty bad. So that's why this deck had Reaver and self-modifying code. As much as I don't like to spend 4 influence on a single card, this was good. But now I'm just failing to marry everything together. We have a self-modifying code, which works well with the trash can ability. It allows you to pull Clot, it allows you to pull a breaker when you need it, allows you to pull the Stargate if you want to close the game, but it's not that necessary, but it seems really okay. And this is the influence that generally you'd spend on Reaver, but if you have a Reaver in the deck, but no way to pull it, it's like you're really rolling the dice whether your 4 influence was spent well. Then I don't know what to do with the last influence, so I put a Light the Fire, which is a trash can ability. It's a strong ability, and I feel like right now I have no good read on the meta, but I feel like there's a fair bit a chance that people will be still playing like the best PD Worlds deck that runs like a really ridiculous Metagarm server, and we're not that good at dealing with it. We do have a political operative. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We have a single political operative which does a lot of what Light the Fire can do, and we have 2 copies of Mistbone, so we're actually kind of good at dealing with assets. So I don't know what to do with this floating influence. I ended up here because it's a new card, but I don't love it. So things we could consider. Diesel, things I want to consider too. Reaver. Earlier versions of this had maybe like, I don't even know if we use the simul chip this well outside of Clot. I think we need it in the late game because revolvers are not permanent. But on top of that, like we were looking at before we had what's it called? Fermenters, which are a trash can and they give you money. I even think this deck could just play Rozeki, albeit if you are playing Rozeki, you probably want to cut some amount of like SMCs because you just don't have the MU to take all this stuff up because Stargate is 2 MU. Yeah, Lucky Charm is taken out of the deck. It wasn't a greedy version, but I feel like Pull Up seems like maybe enough that I don't need the Light to Fire. I feel like floating this 2 influence is wrong. I just don't know what to do with this 2 influence. Like maybe we cut this 2 influence in SMC so that we can run Reaver and then 1 influence, but I don't know how to spend 1 influence in this deck. I don't know. It's like so awkward. We're like 17 influence is exactly what this deck would want, where you cut the Light the Fire and you put in Reaver as well. Hold on, let me catch up on chat because I was really going hard on our Geist deck. Both you and Andre, excuse me. This is basically the as I was considering for Worlds with Revolver and Gambles over Writer. Thanks, Giles. I think you shared this before. Cloud over 3rd simul chip is probably good at the moment. The thing is, like, the simul chips are obviously very good, and this deck, I think your version will use it a bit better, considering that you have like 3 bankroll, and we cut the bankrolls out of the deck because we want to be a bit more aggressive. Docklands Pass is also a card I really, really like, and I wish we could get that in there, but slots. Deuces also is like a very comparable card. We could consider playing Deuces over Blueberry Diesel, and it might be better. And Mad Dash is also a card you would want in a deck that has, oh, you don't actually have spy cameras. That might not be wrong, honestly, especially if we cut the Reaver. And the thing is, I actually don't know if Tech Trader is the right thing for this deck. Like, I don't know if it's the right thing. Like, we do have a fair few trash cans, but like this does not feel as busted as it does with Geist. But maybe it's because it's less accelerated. But like, I don't. It's good. You install it for free. It's probably still good. I forced Blueberry into an As deck, then had the same I need this early feeling. However, I've had 3 class acts and yours doesn't even have 1. Granted, you might less start Econ to put 1 down, but As does make it a bit cheaper. Thanos, yeah, class act is like a huge inclusion in Geist because it is a connection, so you install it for 3. And then on top of it, it's just a good card. But the issue I have 100% with class act, how's it going, Burden, is that it really goofs up with your prognostic Q loop boomerang triggers. Because every time you draw 2 cards. And what I've been finding in my practical testing is that when I have Class Act installed and I'm running, so then I install a card from hand clicklessly, hardware from hand clicklessly because of the masterwork. After I guess I have to just do it in the other order, which is like unoptimal, is that you look at the top 2 cards of your deck with Prognostic Q Loop, right? And so you see them, and then you install a hardware with masterwork during your run because it gives you the click compression you want, which causes you to draw a card, and then you have to draw both of those cards with class act and bottom 1 of them. So now during the run, I no longer have information on what's top of my deck, so I can no longer use prognostic Q loop. I guess I could battle that by just doing them in the other order, which is probably optimal actually, where you trigger the masterwork first, install your boomerang or whatever mid-run, and then you look at the top 2 of prognostic Q loop after drawing. That's probably the right way to do it anyways. Am I wrong? With no Reaver, I'd look at cutting SMC and doing 2 Fermenters. I think Fermenter is really nice because the Q-Loop trigger. It is really quite good. You're right, with the Q-Loop trigger, it comes in a turn earlier, so you get another 2 credits. That's actually really smart. But like if I cut SMC and Light the Fire and add 2 there, I still float 1 influence. And that's been the problem with this deck classically. Even the version we posted last week is 14 influence. Oh no, 15 influence. Oh, because we added a turning wheel at the last minute. I don't know if I love the turning wheel. I don't know if I love DJ Fenris. I don't know if I love Rebirth. Rebirth is not the worst, but we don't have that great Rebirth targets. I don't know what to do. Yeah, Deuces is like the best thing, I think. You drop a Blueberry for Deuces and call it a day. I also like this. The perfect version of this deck that I have is on 46 cards, which obviously makes it imperfect, but it was running 3 Diversion. And the issue is like right now in the testing we've been doing, we've been playing against a deck that runs too big to fail. So the diversions don't feel that potent, and Audacity, like we're playing against Wayland. So like the diversions don't feel that good. But like a turn 1, let alone a turn 2, like boomerang into diversion of funds is probably so powerful for this deck that I probably want to run 3 diversions, but I don't know what to cut down to go down to 44 cards. There's a chance it's a spy camera. There's a real chance it's a spy camera. I don't know. I don't know. I've been struggling with this one. Is the back necessary? Yes, it is. Yes or no? Hey, Cactus, how's it going? It is definitely a card you want, because if you ever find yourself in a matchup that's going to go long, like any sort of like Glacier longer game, you would want it. And to some extent, this deck kind of needs it. Like I've lost 1 or 2 boomerangs just to like people not resing ice and then over installing, or like border controls or Chrysiums and stuff like that. And then if you only have 1 boomerang in the deck, like you're kind of at a disadvantage for a while until you bottom out your deck. But once you've triggered the back, like your deck is full fire. Because you can basically Masterwork or Prognostic Q loop every single turn safely, which draws to your deck incredibly. It puts more economy into your deck, because that deck has limited economy. We don't have Rizeki, and I feel like this deck could play Rizeki. So that's really important. And the fact is we don't have a strict like killer that if you actually have to deal with like, you have to break 4 Anansis or 5 Anansis, you can't do it, because you don't really want to boomerang that. So it is kind of necessary, but you're right that in a lot of matchups you won't install it. It does so much for the matchups that you need to install it. It like lets you be able to win. I also would consider the black file. +2 Diesel, -1 Deuces, plus Paula, plus Mutual Favor. -1 see, -3 Blueberry Diesel. That's too much influence though, right? Oh, Light the Fire, excuse me, LTF Thanos. Minus that. So that frees up 5. So we can do 2 Diesels and a Deuces. That's not bad. I don't know if we need 2 Paula. Maybe we do. I would only be really interested for 2 Polyp if we put a 3rd diversion, so that we're like really interested in running HQ, or also put in as well like what's it called, a Docklands Pass, just so we can go HQ a bit harder. This deck is so much fun, but like it is the amount of triggers you have to do that you have to balance. Like everything that you have to do, you have to work so much harder on, and then we're just playing like good stuff Keiko, and it's like, or Hashiko, excuse me, and it's just so much, you know, turn 1 out of the bat, out of the gate, off the bat, out of the gun. Is so much more powerful. But this is so fun. This is really so fun to play, man. I'm definitely gonna play this, and if we lose, whatever. Mystery Tea. Lucky Charm could also be an optional instead of 2nd Polyp. Yeah, Lucky Charm's a bit awkward, because like with this deck, you can't that easily run HQ, run remote server, because a lot of times that your like attacks on your servers are involved in boomerangs, and then after you do a boomerang run, you shuffle your deck, so then you lose your Prognostic Q loop. So it's a bit tricky. But it's not the worst. Hoshiko not Big Max? Yeah, Sengren, so my partner hasn't played in a long time, and we feel like she likes Hoshiko. She can she nails all the triggers pretty consistently. So like the max, I think, and like understanding where to like, I'm not even that good at Big Max. I think I'm better at Hoshiko. I feel like the power level is a bit lower, a fair bit lower maybe even, but it's we can play it a bit better. At least without the the amount of practice we put in. Polyp hitting the Rococo and PD is kind of sick. Polyp has been really good. We've been grinding it against like Rococo decks, and it's yeah, it eats a Rococo every game. Yeah, even eating Rashida a lot of times is like good enough in matchups where you don't have to worry about like Managarm or what's it called? Anoetic. I really like Light the Fire, but the Reg Diesel feels like good influence value for this deck. I haven't like, that's the issue with this card too, is like in the minimal testing, like right now my partner is playing Fast Advance. So the Light the Fire doesn't get that strong ability. But I know when we played Startup last time at the Silver Goblin, like so many people had the ridiculous Managarm Anoetic remote, but that's obviously before Light the Fire. I also do feel to some extent Light the Fire is annoying, right? Because Light the Fire makes you take the brain damage when the run initiates. So if you're planning to do something, or before the run initiates, like to initiate the run. So if you're planning to like boomerang from hand and install it clicklessly with Masterwork at the beginning of the run, you can just lose your boomerang to the brain damage, which is awful. It is really, really quite terrible. So I don't know. Yo, Frank, looking forward to seeing you too. Do you know what time it starts at? I realize I don't know. I'm assuming noon. Definitely look between now and noon. What corp are you bringing? I don't know. I think we're gonna do some testing tonight. I've been practicing just basically the world's list of PD, which feels a bit scummy. I don't know. I took out some cards and then I added 2 ganked in it, and I made the deck a lot worse. I feel like there's almost no way that I won't show up to a tournament with a ganked deck. But I feel like if we want to do ganked, we want to do Asa, just because the click compression is a bit more necessary than the recursion in that deck specifically, because you need to like really quickly set up a no-win scenario. I think it's noon. Hope it's noon. I'm pretty sure it's noon. I think it's noon. We'll find out. Hope to see anybody there. It's gonna be fun. Decklist of the week. What's an agenda? Wrong answers only. I've been really excited to play this since I've seen this on Netrunner DB. This is a Near Earth Hub deck that is doing a couple things. Firstly, it's running a really mean agenda suite. So this deck is running, and we've seen decks kind of like this that are running a really difficult agenda suite for you to steal. The idea is that hopefully the quantum predictive models are unstealable, considering if we put force tag ice in front of R&D and HQ, they'll never be able to steal this. So that's 3 points less than the deck that the runner can steal. On top of that, we have Global Food Initiative, which are fake 3-pointers. They're 2-pointers. So that's 5 points out of the deck. And then we have 15 minutes, which is another point out of the deck. And you can really see this sort of like engine, or this sort of agenda suite, excuse me, really shine in some of the old sync decks. Some of the old sync decks, and sync is specifically a 40 card minimum deck size. So it runs 18 to 19 agenda points, just like you've seen in System Gateway. I'm planning to start my tournament at 10:30, 11. Oh no! Oh no! Ours is in person. Well, I can't join it now. I don't know if it's this one. This is the Timmy Wong special. This is the Big Brother deck, right? Hell yeah, it is. But this sort of agenda suite is actually really, really quite mean. The idea is that, oh, okay, no, this is not exactly the one I'm thinking of. But the idea is that in this deck, with all the global food initiatives, and then people also ran news teams, you can make it into a no-win scenario where, like, it's in the mid game, there's actually like no way for the runner to steal the requisite 7 points, which is disastrous. This deck is kind of trying to do that, but it does have some big old agendas in it. Like, it just has Puppet Master unironically as a 5/3, which if they steal this, you're, a bit closer to losing for sure. 3-pointers do that. But then we're also running all of the ways in which we can get fake agenda points. So we have an advanceable trap. This is just because we have other cards we advance. We have 3 echo chambers, which are agenda points to us as long as we spend 4 credits in our whole turn to score these out, which means that the runner still has to deal with all this stuff. We have 2 false flag, which is a card that we want to continue to advance, and it's an advanceable trap. I don't know how we're going to afford this. I feel like the 3 space camp are going to come into play here. We also have gene splicers, which are cards we want to advance, which are technically agenda points, but only for us. News teams, which are negative agenda points unless they want to take some tags. NGO front, it just looks like an agenda. It's not, no big deal. And we have 2 spin doctors, which is some weird number, and then 3 space camps, which are just going to give us free advancements, which we can put on anything because almost all of our cards are advanceable, barring some of them. And that's the idea. We're just trying to go wide. Mind you, every time we install a card, we draw a card. Near Earth Hub is actually like a really good identity ability when it comes to like these horizontal trap decks, because it allows you to put a card threat on the table and then redraw a threat. So you can put 2 things on the table and say like, which one's the snare, which one's the beal, or however that abstract fork works. We have bias reporting. I'm not sure why. It is an economy card that is not very consistent and only gets more consistent over time throughout the game. We have 3 hedge funds, a single preemptive action, which is a recursion card, and a psychographics, which is a really nice way to close the game if they do just decide, F it, let's take all the tags. And mind you, they have to take the tags. We're not going to be giving a lot of tags. Almost all the tags that they'll be taking are either because they took news team tags, they took tags from our ice, or they hit a false flag at some point. So we're not going to hard-hitting news them. We're not going to, whatever the new C source is, public trail them. We maybe amaze amusements them, maybe. I've been looking at this deck all week and it has no money. It literally has no money. That is very true. It has NG Ho front. It has biased reporting and hedge fund. And biased reporting is not an economy card till like turn 7, depending on the matchup. Our ice is pretty cheap. Lol, I'm just kidding. We have 2 toll booth. Not sure how we're going to get that res, but we could consider it. And we have 3 funhouse, which is also an incredibly expensive. Wait, hold on, Pat. A post on Discord told me you do Netrunner videos. Pat, how's it going? How's Final Girl? When's the tournament start on Saturday? Nobody knows. Buy followers? No, hold on. I need to ban you. 1 second. Robots. I'm gonna end this robot. At the very least, swapping bias for planogram seems necessary. Yeah, burn it. I think that's actually pretty fair decision. Because bias, like, they need 3 of the same card for it to be on par with a cheaper what's it called? A cheaper hedge fund. How do you ban a robot? Destroy. I've dealt with it adequately. 12:30 on the friggin' dot. Store opens at 12. Okay. Yeah, Frank, noon would have been a safe bet. I think the noon club would have been fine. Pat, how many archers do you have sleeved up? Maddie is pretty sure Pat's gonna play He's gonna be playing what's it called? Sports metal, but who knows? Just for his Parasite but Daddy Sucker that bot, we got him. And then on top of our ice suite, on top of that, excuse me, we have Authenticator, which is interesting because of their tag. This does nothing, but it's actually a pretty good ice as long as they don't care about the tag thing, or care about the tag thing more accurately. And then Wraparound, which is a good barrier. It's interesting. We have no sentries, and I feel like there are good, like, just not gear check sentries, but annoying sentries. Like Turnpike is just a hell of a card. It does give them a tag. It is a good trace, and it just robs them a credit whatever they do. So it's a nice like medium where even if they go tag me, it's a relevant card. If they don't want to go tag me, it's an extra relevant card, and that's a very rare design in tagging ice. Like this becomes absolutely useless once they go tag me. Or same with the Funhouse, right? Like that's why I am a big fan of Turnpike. I don't know how this is going to work in the slightest, but there's a lot of things they have to deal with. I feel like they can run just about everything. And where it gets weird is like, and this is the issue that comes up often times with like with trap decks, is that like your traps kind of need to be relevant with each other. So right now we have a Gene Splicer that can do a modicum of net damage. Will it ever be lethal? Probably not. So does the net damage matter? Can we capitalize on them having small hand size? No. So going to be an issue. False Flag, this one actually does matter because if they take too many tags and we draw our singleton psychographics, we could do something with it. And we, mind you, if we score a Puppet Master, like our traps get a lot more interesting. This is one advancement token. Come on, Jumon. And then we have a Cerebral Overrider, which if they have smaller hand size, maybe it's closer to them dying to Gene Splicer. But again, if they take 2 brain damage, it might be irrelevant in this matchup, barring, of course, the Gene Splicer at huge advancements. How in the world do you pay for Toll Booth? Oh, you pray. This deck could be running a Mumbad Temple. It has the requisite asset pool or ice pool. What does Mumbad Temple want? Does it want enough assets or not enough ice? It's one of the two. I'm playing all 5/3s in NBN. I'm slaving 3 archers. Yo, get that stuff rezzed. Liza's toy box or whatever. Let's go. I'm excited to play this deck. It looks weird. I feel like we are going to click for credits, but it's like most trap decks. Like your economy is not why you're playing the deck. I think it's NBN near Earth Hub, or is it just near Earth Hub? Okay. And I'm sleeving archers too. What are the odds? Oh, God. Me too. I'm also sleeving archers. Every ice is an archer. Don't run. Yo, Ian, what's up? I miss Moosh and NEH. That was a wild deck from the last in-person Worlds. I really enjoyed Trapped NEH. I feel like the sort of bite that NBN Traps had, like never like very successfully kind of displayed. But like TGTBT, I want that sort of card to exist constantly in the NBN card pool. Just like, oh, it's on axis could be a tag, like a Bernice Mai. But like there's very little cards in NBN that will actively tag you as a surprise. It's like mostly just, what's it called? That one of per deck. Don't tell anyone that I'm watching this during my son's orchestra concert. Chris, I have no doubt they're doing great out there. Well, that's really funny. I think the one that checks the hand. Damage and biased reporting is not a combo. Yeah, well, yo, I see what you mean. Yes. If it's a damage deck, people in some ways are less likely to install every card if they think you're going to grind you out. But yeah, I think you're thinking of the one where you look at their hand and gain credits for every type of the card. Ping kind of tags a surprise. Yeah, ping is like close enough. Like ping is nice. Ping is what we want for that sort of deck. But like we used to have TGTBT, we used to have Bernice Mai. I did unironically pay Big Brother in those sort of decks because you could do like C-Source Big Brother into something meaningful. I don't know. Not really. It's hard. I like the Spartacus moment as we all stand up and announce, no, I am sleeving archers. We are all sleeving archers. I had to buy new sleeves. Which is like, I'll take no excuse to not do that. But yeah, I got new sleeves. I got lime, which I had before, and I got not pink, but diamond pink, which is the fancier Dragon Shield pink. And I don't know if you know, but Dragon Shield has lore on the back of all of their products, their sleeve products, all about the dragons in the Dragon Shield coterie, which I don't know where that comes from or who writes that stuff. But the pink one specifically was a very motherly dragon. And I found that to be a bit much. I've been looking at DS duels. Dragon Shield duels, we have a couple of them. They don't come in all the colors, but we have, I think Maddie right now has like Dragon Shield. She's using the Dragon Shield. There's a very nice color somewhere between pink and purple and blue. Diamond pink is nice. I use plain matte pink. I have way too many plain matte pink. And the issue with the lighter colors, I generally play with the pink mattes at most tournaments, is that they feel like they get dirty very quickly and then become to what extent I would consider to be sufficiently marked, which I would not be comfortable bringing them to a tournament. So I often will crack a new one. But I think pink matte Dragon Shield sleeves are the most of the same kind of sleeve I own, if you know what I mean. I do not know the lore of the pink dragon, but the diamond matte pink dragon, I'm an expert now. I think they're small dragons. I think they're very small dragons, and they guard some sort of like petals of a fruit garden or something. I don't know. Yeah, Frisbee, tell him. The weird thing is we only started associating pink with dragon moms in the last 100 years. yeah. Before that, it was a wider range of patronly dragons as well. This is something I wasn't aware of until it was described directly to me from somebody who, well, one of the guys owners of the Silver Goblin, but Dragon Shield specifically has an overarching kind of way that they think about their products where they don't want to make garbage. So everything that you buy is meant to be used as something else, right? Like the whole buffalo kind of idea. So the idea is that the deck boxes that or the boxes that the shields come in, the sleeves come in, like it's a deck box. And I use that for storage. I use it for moving cards around. Like that's fantastic. As opposed to like when you buy your, I don't know, perfect fit katana, whatever, like it's just covered in plastic and you throw it out. And that kind of goes over the entirety of the Dragon Shield product line. So like it's, and for the boxes, I never thought about it because it makes sense to put sleeves in a box. But then I saw like they sold playmats, and the playmat comes in this kind of like triangular prism, like a Toblerone, but it had notches in the top. And so I asked Adam at the Silver Goblin, what is this? Like, this is a terrible, how do you carry this? And the idea is that you put it on the table and it comes with a coin inside it, and you slot the coin into these little indentations on the top of the triangle, and you use that as a life counter. The idea is that they didn't want to just send you a playmat in a cardboard roll that you throw away. They made it to a functional, arguably functional thing. And I'm into that. I actually think that's quite cool. Some people will say pink is for dragon moms and sky blue is for dragon dads. A few people use those boxes. Those boxes are great. The Dragon Shield boxes are fantastic. They are good enough deck boxes. Especially because you bought the sleeves anyways. Pat, do you know what you're playing? Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be up late on Friday night just figuring it out again. Because the 2 decks that we're testing, I'm not into it. I'm into the runner. I just feel like the influence, we have to figure it out. That's kind of cool. I use my Dragon Shield boxes for mad stuff. Just not usually as deck boxes unless it's a pinch. Oh, I do not mind bringing them. Because a lot of times when I'm going over to like a friend's to do Arkham, you want to bring extra sleeves anyways, because you a lot of times will add cards to your deck, so you need the matching sleeves. So I'll just put the extra cards or put my deck in the box with the extra sleeves. It's great. Seems like we're having a store championship tourney later in May. Startup format. Ooh, Frisbee. Cool. Where at? Do you want me to shout it out? We're off. Oh, Nat. Interesting. Hey. That's a really good image. Fat cat. Opening hand. I'm assuming the opening hands in this are going to be a bit awkward. This has our econ card in it, I guess. I use the DS boxes for the Frankfurt 30 decks. Oh, you have them all built. Andrew, how's it going? I have no idea. It's an all-nighter for me. The problem is the 2 inner folds. Oh, like it damages stuff on the inside? I've unsurprisingly been having a ton of fun with Asa if you're looking for Corp Inspi. Yasengren, I think I would actually end up on Asa pretty soon, but that's because it seems to me like the best ID to play ganked in, classically. At Atomic Empire in North Carolina, the 26th, I think. Cool, Frisbee. If you have like an invite link or something you want to share on around the channel at some point, let me know. We'll boost it if we can. Yeah, I think I'd get to Asa. All right, let's go. Gonna get some ice. I think we have to put this on HQ because of the quantum. I'm not sure what Nat's gonna do. Most Nats I've seen are actually like the HQ like kill everything deck with Fear the Masses. So this won't actually stop anything. It'll look like it will. And now we can afford a card. We can afford a toll booth. I have the ones that I have the cards for in the rotated cycles. If only I could also keep people to play for 30 within a box. Oh. Safety first. Guru Devinder. Sick. Yeah, safety first is actually really quite cool in that. All right, so I got our news team snuck on the table. This is like a fun server. The problem is, are we excited to score out a quantum predictive model? No, we're not. We would like them to score out the quantum predictive model. Can we not install these? What's happening? Hello? Uh-oh. The 2 cardboard folds that are inside where the cards are will eventually catch a sleeve and bend it. It's a lot less likely the fewer cards you put in the box, though. Okay. Okay, we're good. I see what you mean, yeah. Because the way the cardboard is, there's like it hooks inside. Nat gains their credit. They have the Guru Devinder, which will actually matter because they will dodge all their traps as long as they can afford 4 credits. We're running R&D here for a single axis. Trashing an NGO front off the top is pretty good. We have no traps that will fire off of R&D clearing. Beal off the top, pretty bad. If they steal a Gene Splicer down. If they steal a, what's it called? It's really, really bad. Puppet Master. Funhouse, we probably want to put that on R&D. I wonder if they know what deck we're building. It's just like, I don't know why they would touch any of these cards. Like back in the day, you used to have from the what is it from the Sansan cycle? Is it still legal? There's cards that say like at the beginning of turn, put 1 advancement on a card. Is that still a thing? Because I would actually really like to play that. I don't want to go down to 2 cards in hand. Atomic Empire store. It's actually on the 23rd and classified as a circuit opener event. That's exciting. Yeah, that is Guru. And there's a patchwork as well. They threw out an injection attack, which means they have a pretty like single-minded rig. Maybe they have this just so they can deal with their cradle in a pinch if they need to like cradle through a toll booth and they don't have that few cards in hand. Like I guess we're scoring this. But now we're in 7 credits, so we can res 1 of our ice. I think this is actually a bit more interactive if they're playing Ejection Attack and Ice Carver. But I assume this exists so that they can support things like, what's it called? Cradle. Oh, we will never afford this. We will never in our life afford this. Even this is really expensive. Like, paying 4 credits for a 3-1, that's more than you normally pay. And they're just doing their cool thing over there. Oh, nice. Place 1 advancement with Space Camp. Nice. Got him. I never realized Space Camp cost 3 to trash. That's pretty incredible. We played Vampire Rivals. Kind of feels... Rival feels... Hey, Paul. I do. I have. I own the box. Yeah, we did actually get him there. I have the box. I have not played it with more than 2 people, which is not, like, a good number to play that game at. Ugh. But I enjoy it. I know that, like Anar and Arkham, yeah, so... I also own the 5th edition of Vampire Eternal Struggle. They rebooted the old game from I think the 90s. And I know there's a lot of people in Montreal who really played it. In fact, one of the guys that I played Flesh and Blood with was like one of the big, they give really interesting vampire titles to people who've done well competitively. So there's like some really strong players. This is a really interesting deck here in Montreal, but we've never got that game to the table because, oh, sick. Because it's, you need a lot of players. So we just also picked up Vampire Rivals. Not awesome. We've had it for a while too, but we've only played it with Maddie and I. So that game has a lot of like political elements to it. So we'll see how it goes when we get more people around the table. Oh, biased reporting is actually pretty good right now. Unless they trash things. I think we'll do it. I should have planned the rest of my turn, but I was just way too excited to play biased reporting. We should have installed this first to see. So we'll do resource. So now we're going to gain 8 credits. Unless they want to trash any of their resources, which I think they'll not. A little off topic, but why are your favorite board games for only 2 people if you got any? What are your favorite board games? Xren, after the game, I'll go through my list and tell you. Because that's going to derail this like way more heavier than we probably should. All right. Like, how do you score this? Do they have to respect our traps? Haven't seen a breaker yet. Haven't seen a cradle yet. Haven't seen a boomerang yet. Baguette, what's she up to? There's some really interesting cards here. Like, Sports Hopper is a really cool way to get a bunch of cards in hand at once to give you options without having to to disable your nat ability or not to struggle as much with the safety first. We also haven't seen a guinea pig. There is a cradle that actually deals with our toll booth perfectly. So as long as they can keep as few cards in hand, they actually have to have no cards in hand. Oh, with Ice Carver, no, it's a bit different. Adori, they're coming in with virtuals, 2 of them as well. So this breaks really well. Luckily, we don't have any actual sentries in the deck. But I don't see how our toll booth authenticator server is going to keep them out. They break the server for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 credits. It's not nothing. I think we actually have to jam this through. It's going to take us a year to close this. Don't forget to overwrite the camp when you get a chance. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, well, yeah, get a chance is actually like a really big cost, right? Because we want to always be drawing cards. So installing over this does not trigger the near Earth hub ability. But yeah, you're totally right. Wraparound actually would be like the ice we want to draw. We only have 2 and 28. They also have a misdirection. That is cool. No tag punishment in hand, but that's never really stopped us. Don't click that res button. I've been building up a 2-player board game collection. I don't have a lot of board games friends to ask for Rex, hence the 2P games. Yeah, 2-player games have been a really big deal here. Maddie and I have been playing board games amongst each other for the last, for the whole pandemic, really. Not that I'm not a huge fan of 2-player games in general. Okay, so this is going to be, we're not going to financially recover from this. So 3, they're at strength 3 right now. So we're actually firing. So they have to install a card to run again. Okay, we're going to the funhouse here. If we res this, we have no money, so HQ is open, so we're not going to be able to res this. And this is the problem, is like, this is such an expensive card. But I feel like we have to be trapping Atamor, where we just keep jamming. Like, they have an economy, we don't. We literally do not have an economy. Oh, never mind, we have an economy. This is the matchup where this is so good. We can potentially get 10 credits off a single card. Unless they want to trash something, but I feel like they like their cards. We gained 10 credits! Okay, this card slaps. Let's go. Advance. So this, we could score out, not even next turn, because you have to spend a click on top of everything. It's not just a fast ability. And otherwise, we give them, what, 2 tags? Not fantastic. Daily Cast, Nat. They're halfway through their deck. There's only a 40 card minimum. There's the Cleaver, so now we have no ice that holds out. Kills Flip. Wow. That's some wild tech. And now they're running it. So they're actually going to take 2 tags, so we can start trashing their board. This is going to take 3 credits off of them. If we res this, it's either 2 credits or 2 credits. We'll res it. And they actually have to trash this for 2 credits. Well, they actually can't trash it. They're going to take 2 tags and not be able to trash this. I've never seen that. I have not once in my life seen that happen. Hey, Andre, would it be too personal to ask how you and Maddie met? Sounds like a great gaming partner. Oh, no. We worked together. We were both working at Ubisoft. This has been like, I guess we met 4.5 years ago, give or take. Wow, forget that. What an amazing card. Look at all the value. Yeah, no, this is not good. At least it did the best of both worlds. You generally don't see that. So now they have 2 tags. Their turn is over. We're barely going to be able to like just trash their stuff. If we can draw into like, I don't even, 1 tag, right? Like what? Dip this pen and company ink. Gross. Okay, we got to start trashing stuff. The question is what? 6 credits? That's a lot of money. He says, having now nearly 6 credits. I feel like the safety first has been doing a lot of work for them. I don't care about the Guru Devinder. Yeah, that seems spiteful enough. We want to get our bias reporting back in the deck. I'll just put this in a near remote. We should have done that first click like by a mile, of course. No different future jokes. Yeah, yeah, we worked together. I did video stuff and community content. She worked for, I don't know how much to talk about this, but hey Nero, how's it going? She worked on a brand. We did a lot of live streams and stuff together. Taka's down to clear the tag. Pycat, she's on 0 credits. If we want to, we have to like double advance this and then still not have money. Ooh, that's like a fine play. So now our centrals are going to be way open. Our centrals are going to be very, very open. Worth. We also actively made our biased reporting worse. I feel like I'm gonna just do that. Oh, 3 cards. We've been spoiled by Spin Doctor. I don't want more trashables on R&D. I'm just gonna go for the biased. Like can you name program? Oh, you can. So it'll be at least like there's no way they're trashing these, right? Is that a puppet? Yes, it is. It is a puppet. Not sure how we're meant to get that out there. Oh, that's good. We're not gonna res here. So they draw card C2. We have a lot of agendas in our deck. The Quantum sneaks out. There is still one news team out there. Another flip switch, so the tag clearing. But hey, do you know what? We've actually fully false flagged. We have fully false flagged. And we still have to res this for 2 credits? Oh. We have to res this for 2 credits. That is the worst feeling. I can't imagine. That's awful. That's really bad. Well, hey, we're on game point. We have no fast events, so we're going to have to actually score out. On 0 credits, like now they can theory check everything. News teams and space camps are still alive. They know the next card R&D, so like I'm not actually really stoked to shuffle this. Oh, no, they don't, because they stole one. This is actually a new card. We could shuffle back in. No, none of this matters. Sing Access off the top. This is the scary one. If they hit the 50 minutes is fine, but if they hit the Puppet Master, we lose. Very directly lose. 1 and 4. We could have overdrawn and thrown it out, but I don't know. I don't think we're gonna res this Funhouse for a year. Trickshataka, just to boost. They hit a Funhouse, fantastic. That's a very smart play. Like click 3, I guess we could res this. We have some biased reportings in the deck. We have 1 NGO front as well, but we can't even play the NGO front. Like, I think we have to get the Funhouse up because eventually it'll be good. Do you like co-op? Most of the games where we really are 2P are co-ops. Sorry. Do you like co-op? Most of the games we really like at 2P are co-ops. Oh, they're really hammering here. Like Lord of the Rings, LCG, Eon's End, Legendary, Jaws of the Lion, Arkham Horror. Yeah, a lot of those games play really well at 2 players. Could we have left the flag out there and let the 3 tag defendant? I'm focused on not getting down to 0 credits. Thanos, there is no way that we were getting a false flag up to 6 and not scoring it out because we've never done it on the stream. So I was going to commit to it. Probably not the right play. We could let us do. There's no way they're going to run through a toll booth authenticator just to take 3 tags. You're totally right. Maddie and I have been really enjoying Lord of the Rings LCG. We've been trying to pick up as much of it as we can. If anyone has a Khazad-dûm cycle, the Dwarven cycle, and they want to get rid of it, we will definitely be interested in purchasing it. It's really hard to find. And we're looking for the last saga, which is very hard to find. It's called Mountain of Fire, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic. I guess we shouldn't, probably shouldn't start here. I think we're going to spin Doctor after, so maybe it's okay. I think we're going to call program. It's least likely that they'll trash these. This will give us the money we need. So we could credit. We can also drop with Spin Doctor. We just want to be able to res both of these. We're going to be a credit short. Whatever. I've been kind of wanting to get into Arkham Horror, though. It's been really good. They're re-releasing things modernly, so it's much easier to get into. I'd recommend trying it out. We played loads of 2-player Wingspan in Sydney lockdown, plus Arboretum and Patchwork. But we're limited by our small collection. Arboretum's really good. Patchwork is good too. I'm not the biggest fan of Wingspan. Arkham is fun but pretty pricey. Oh, I hear you, Sangren. If we res this, they break it for a tag and 2 credits. They clear the tag clicklessly. I feel like we just have to let this go through. We could have considered shuffling back the 15 minutes. This deck, oh man, yeah. We can also shuffle 2 things in. I'm not gonna. We can just hope that this is good for us. Started winning without winning. The suboptimal fun plays are so enticing. Yo, if they give you our false flag, you're scoring at a false flag. Unseen card, Beal. Wow, 6 points. Resing this actually would have protected the Quantum Kitty, putting us on game point. We would have won. We literally would have won if we resed this. Because if they went through it, we would have had 4 credits, which they would have stole this. And then we would have scored out the Echo Chamber, and that would have been it. Yeah, I think we goofed it out pretty bad. I don't know. Interesting. Can't say I'm sure. So when your turn ends, if there are 3 or more hosted credits, you may take 1 tag or trash this resource. I'm assuming your turn ending is still on your turn. I'm assuming they can do that. That's a really cool question. Oh, we need to take some time to talk about Omar abilities because I don't know how that works. You just listed some of the hardest Lord of the Rings packs to find. I know. Def keeping an eye out for COTR Discord and the Lord of the Rings Facebook group. People usually post about restocks of those things. Okay, good to know, Frisbee. Thank you. I know that's the hardest stuff to find. That's why we don't have it. Just score a Puppet Master. What could be easier? No restriction for dropping the tag on the corp turn? No, there is. They have to do it on your turn. You cannot use this on the corpse turn. Dude up. His trickster always had a derby hat? No, this has been in mode since April. Yeah, I think it's fine. Hey, Nelson, how's it going? If you want something heavier, Jackson says Fields of Arl is a great 2-player competitive. I've never actually heard of that. There's no paid ability window after end of turn triggers? Kyle, shit. Well, we're not gonna, well, shit. Oh, money. Fantastic. We're gonna call program. Yeah, we could have won. Feels bad. We have to shuffle this back, which shuffles our deck. So now they're on 5 agenda points. There's 1 news team in the deck, 1 on the table. At this point, they could consider just floating the news team tag. What is our game plan here? Hopefully Echo Chamber to Echo Chamber would be a good game plan. This is technically a game plan. We have to score 1 of these into another thing. Yeah, it's dodgy. We have to score 1 of these into Echo Chamber. The Echo Chamber sitting out here is good. Fields of Arl is great. I'll resin down this time. It's an absolute shame. Now that 3 quantums are out, like we really kind of goofed it there. They always could have used flip switch before accessing, so we didn't 100% throw the game. But they only take the tag when the turn ends, right? So there's a lot of ways we win here, lose here. We actually could have considered shuffling back and win Spin Doctor. Trash the false flag. I'll res a funhouse here as well. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, if they preempted to access before with the flip switch. Yeah, you're right. They definitely could have played around it. Yeah, maybe we should assume that they did so we don't feel terrible about it. But they would have. But they didn't on this one, but I guess they saw all 3 quantums, so what can you do? Oh, it's the next card. Okay, that's fine. I would love to get them to run archives. This again is going to be a 4 credit play, barring the fact that we're advancing. So advancements are actually more expensive than the credits they're worth. I just don't see them running. This draws a card. I guess we could draw into a biased or something. That's not a thing. Like credit. Ugh. Needs more Pad Factory. Honestly, I would not be upset about Pad Factory. Pad Factory would be kind of what we want. They're referring to Kitty Pill? Yeah, totally. They could have kittied through the... They could have flip switched the Funhouse tag. This is a neat deck. This also doesn't look awful. Like, this looks reasonable. There's some weird inclusions, like Injection Attack, but I feel like you kind of need that if you're cradling through high strength. Wait, is that a news team? Oh, sick. All right, that buys us some time. They still win if they hit the 2 Puppet Masters. They also could just take 2 tags here. It looks like she's going now. Took a stab at redesigning this in Reality Plus. How'd it go? The card draw seems like nice. Oh no. Oh heavens. They trashed it too. Which I don't think you did they trash it? I don't think you should trash it. Because now it makes running archives more difficult. And allows us to easily like shuffle it, let alone like any punishment effects. So wait, they have a tag? I don't think we care. Unless the Gene Splicer cares? Advanced Gene Splicer? Yeah, but like, I don't think the damage kill will work. They have Guru. Like, I think we have to trash Guru and then advance. Which is like kind of telling. Don't love it. Does the Guru matter? Splicer might kill them. Yeah, a Guru does matter. Yeah. They've gone tag me. The news teams are blank anyways. I don't think they're going tag me. I just think that she couldn't clear all the tags. This is technically game point, right? Like this looks like a Beal. She's clearing the tag. Ripped off the goddamn top of the deck. Oh man, excuse me. They still have to trash. No, they don't have to trash it. No, they do have to trash it. This is still expensive. Oh man, that's really funny. Not enough money to threaten a win. That's the biggest issue. We just don't have enough money to like be threatening. That was amazing. They top decked the Guru, installed the Guru, ran the damage card, which like it was a huge tell. I just fragged my eyes watching a mobile with default 144p. It defaults there. All right, we have more of those. The issue is we don't have more economy. Again, we're looking at 2 biased, but we have to shuffle an agenda at some point. This has been pretty wild. Okay, well that can help us do that. I'm gonna shuffle these in because I want to draw them. Okay. Like we need a buff tank. Oh, we can't even play it. Oh, we're gonna have to discard 2 cards. That's fine, right? Like we just need to keep our credits up so we can do install advance next turn and make it really awkward for them. Oh, we'll do program. This thing is like, because we're not putting anything on the table here, they can just click for credits, which is going to be a problem for us. We actually could have considered throwing out the Puppet Master, but I feel like this is pretty safe behind here. They haven't shown any HQ multi-axis yet. Actually, haven't shown any multi-axis besides the jailbreaks, which we've seen too. So now she's drawing up. Again, she does have 5 hand size. She is throwing out cards though. It's with patchwork, so. Oh, and the Guru is gone. Okay, we have a window. We have also Global Food Initiative, which will win them the game. So this is, again, at 4 credits, then we're going to be short of this Echo Chamber. Oh, we could have. I just want more money. Like, even just a pad tap and, sorry, like a pad campaign and a pad factory would be enough. Or like the fact that this deck doesn't have Rashida, considering it also wants to like uninstall, never advance these things. Like, also a bit unfortunate. You need a really good reason not to put Rashida in any deck. They also have to respect whether this is Bologna. They haven't seen our Puppet Master cheese yet, but it might be pretty easy to pin this to the deck list of the week, considering this is a pretty Splicer kill. Second attempt. This is what, 2 damage? Yeah, it does 2 damage. But to some extent, they need to keep cards out of hand for their Cradle to be able to interact with the toll booth. Like if they have a second card in hand, this will be 4 strength, and then this will be 3 strength. So this makes it kind of like a no-win situation for them. Unless they can put some damage prevention or do something cute here. But the issue is their Cradle interacting with this. They could have like an injection attack. I wouldn't be surprised to see a boomerang. What's happening? Oh, they're adding a Guru to the top of the deck with buffer drive. They are playing so hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is incredible. They buffer drive the Guru Diviner on top, drew the Guru Diviner, installed the Guru Diviner. Buffer drive is clickless, right? It's over here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All the cat vids. She's going in. Sometimes you get outplayed. We got outplayed so hard. If this was a false flag, we'd feel okay. Which is a wild sentence. They can't trash it though. Yeah, she can't trash it. So I think we're okay with this. If she clicked for a credit. Oh, she didn't click for a credit. We're fine. Guru goes. She's 1 short. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. That is enough to win. So we still have to res this. Oh, wait, and these 3 advancements? Come on. 3 advancements. This is awkward because we need like 7 more credits to win the game, and our deck does not have 7 credits in it. We're getting there. We could 15 minutes off the top, but we're 1 credit short of that as well. I think there's 2 more food in the list, which at this point are a blank card. It doesn't really change who's gonna win when she finds it. Like, I would just love a public trial into exchange. That would be game winning. Again, can't afford it, but we could dream. I really thought that this was not 3 advancements, but it is what it is. Okay. So server check, we have a space camp, which would not actually be helpful right now. We'd have a news team, which would be arguably helpful. We have an echo chamber, which that's a secret. And then we have a spin doctor, which we have to remember we are keeping puppet masters in here. And they can always pressure the spin doctor. A fermenter, that's good money. Our bias reporting's just got a bit beefier. We have a game. Oh, they're going in. Sick. This... Can they afford to go in? She's taking a tag? She's taking a tag, so she's actually a credit short of trashing this thing. But now she knows that it's in here. Yeah, she has a tag. Okay. Not that we can afford to do anything about it. Psychographics with a single tag is not really impactful. It's an echo chamber. We can't afford it. She can't avoid it. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. I got nothing. Okay, cool. Game on. We'll call event. Or sorry, program. So we just need one of these to live. Yeah, it's 4 to res. I have to res it. Yeah, this thing you have to res to have its ability. So the thing is, though, at least if she tunnels for this, she can go for server 7. But the bigger issue right now is that she can just kind of go. Like, I don't think that she's going to be scared of... I'm drawing glass click. Awkward. Oh, that's fine. Like, if she thinks it's the last turn, like, she might not deal with the fun houses. But I'm hoping that she just deals with this instead. Like, she understands that she needs 3, 4, 5, 6 credits for this remote survey. And if she does that and doesn't steal the agendas, like, we can still win off of this echo chamber, which has been here for a year. But we have 2 win cons here, either an echo chamber or a 15 minutes. But again, if you think it's the last turn, you are floating a tag. These fun houses do nothing. Pi is only 2 clicks left, and she needs to run archives. Okay, good. This seems like it's good for us. I'm gonna be very happy to res this one. It's gonna take a tag here. Has 1 click left. 2 tags. Psychographics getting a bit relevant. Am scared. 1 click left. No credits. It does have tags. Click for credit. Okay, so we have a couple lines here. We could score the 15 minutes. We could score the hedge fund. I'm just gonna res this one because this is way more fun. Good game. That was a wild one. Oh man, that was really cool. Interesting enough, 71 credits to 89. Like, the bias reporting was really carrying its weight there. As an economy card, you can play on low credits. Hey, you too. Great game. But yeah, we were struggling. Like, just some pad taps, just some economy on the table. Interesting enough, our traps there worked. I don't see... Like, I feel like this deck can only score at Puppet Master on the back of a threat. Right? Like, if they're really worried that this is something, but like the threats in this deck aren't that hard or aren't that scary. What a beautiful score area. I don't think I've ever seen this. It might be just about every fake point in the game right now. Echo chamber. Oh, there's 2 echo chambers, right? But like, that is a spread. The amount of advancements we needed to get to 7 points. Hold on. We did 3 for this. We did 10. We did 13 advancements for 7 points. That's slightly above what you'd expect. Yeah, this is good. I don't think we've ever scored one of these out. GG, Ian. This is cool. I think the plan is to install advanced events of Puppet Chamber turn 1. Yeah, we didn't have it. There's only 2 in the deck, but like, why wouldn't they just run it? You really think everyone will think it's an NGO? I feel like a lot of times I still run it just because the threat is not where... I don't know. All I need is that HB agenda and some Netrunner flesh. Oh, like Dreamers, right? No, I'm memeing. Okay. No, but some people do that. Like I think never advancing out the 3-1 makes more sense. But yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I don't even know if the Puppet Master would be the best. Like a Bologna would just be good enough as like a defensible agenda. I'm doing another one. This deck is wild. I do think though we would want to put in like pad taps and pad factories, just anything to let us do our thing cheaper. Like pad factory is amazing. It's free advancements. I said that sentence unironically. Like free advancements for this deck is a really big deal. I wonder if we can get it in there. You need to run 3 pad taps, right? Yo, Andre Janktivist, how's it going? Happy Thursday. So many fake points. Hillary and I complete the first couple of circle and done scenarios and are really digging it. Maybe it'll crush us soon. Our opinion will change. No. If you're doing good right now, you're going to enjoy it the whole way through. I wanted to, firstly, who are you playing? And secondly, I wanted to ask you, I didn't want to ask you. Yeah, I guess I wanted to ask you, how the hell do you play? How do you play Stanza? I don't get it. I can't figure it out. I think I understand the rules now, but I can't actually figure it out. Joseph, how's it going? Hello everyone. Long time since I've been able to catch a live stream. Glad you can make it. We've been playing the deck list of the week. After this, we're gonna try some a new as. It's gonna be fun. Real quick though, Ixtron asked about 2-player board games for recommendations. Let me tell you what's on my board game like app of things that we own that we play 2-player. And some of these are not gonna be like that approachable or gonna be like they're expensive because they require collections and stuff. Diana Stanley and Rita. That sounds good. Diana Stanley sounds pretty good. Rita, I've never been a big fan of, but apparently I'm wrong. I've been told that a fair bit. Okay, excellent. 2-player board games. Some of these are going to be 1-player board games that I play as 2 players because I feel like there's no reason you can't do that as long as you have a pretty reasonable way of talking to people. Under Falling Skies is a 1-player board game about rolling dice and then aliens come at you and then you try and defend it, which is really, really good. Stanzas and Too Many Bones? Yes. That's about the board game app. Final Girl, we've been enjoying. We haven't played enough yet. Pat actually has our copy right now, but it's a 1-player game. We've been playing it as 2 players. We've been finding it great. Hive is fantastic. Hive is basically a kind of game like chess where everyone has these pieces on the board and you have to pin their queen. Lol, it's a queen bee. Hive is so much better than chess to me because there is no board. All the pieces attached to each other and they all have different rules based off the bugs they are, but you cannot break the board. And every game of Hive I've played has been like very different than anything else, which is amazing. Hive is amazing. Yeah, Cactus knows what's good. Stanza is dope and pretty tough to get the hang of. I just can't understand, I just don't logically understand which songs do which and then what. I don't know, it's hard. Under Falling Skies is great. Had to wait forever to buy the one. Yeah, it's really good. Hive is so good, Nelson. Let us know what you think. Raketha says only 2-player Jaipur, Patrick Hive, higher counts, but great 2-player Spirit Island, Race for the Galaxy, Castles, Berkensey, Carcassonne. Okay, 2-player games. BattleCon. If you can pick up one of the smaller boxes, they're good. They're a bit thinky. It's a fighting game, like the sort of thing where the game only really opens up if you understand all your opponent's possibilities and get into that headspace like you could with fighting games. But I think it's good. Fox in the Forest is amazing. Fox in the Forest Duet, I think is a bit less elegant of a game, but a very interesting game because it becomes a cooperative game. Fox in the Forest on its own is just a very good trick-taking 2-player game with some very elegant rules. I like it. What else we got? Seven Wonders Duel, fantastic. It is much simpler than Seven Wonders in some ways, but you share this board, this tableau, it starts with a pyramid of cards, and every time you take a card off of that, you buy a card, it reveals the cards underneath it. So it becomes this kind of game of making sure you don't open up something for your opponent and trying to build your wonders at the right time so you get 2 turns in a row. Fantastic game. Some of the expansions, specifically the first expansion, really helps balance the game out from my understanding. Keyforge, casually is fine. Netrunner is a good one. Undaunted. Undaunted I'm a big fan of. Undaunted are it's like a deck builder. It is a deck builder in which you roll dice and you recreate like eras from World War II. There's one that is throughout France. It's the Britain versus the Axis, and then the other one in the north of Africa, which is a bit more complex and asymmetrical, and I would not recommend, although it's a more interesting game. Curious Cargo. Hold on, someone's in. We have to stop this now. There's a long list. It keeps going. We have a lot of board games around here. 58 cards. Fantastic. Forever Mine is your go-to skill die. That one's really good. How does that work? Because it says take an action as an opponent. Do you do that as soon as you lock the die? Because I could not figure it out. Now I see that you're live then. I'll switch to Twitch. Yo, Joseph, we'll see you over there. Seven Wonders Jewel's my current favorite. I love it. I really appreciate all the recommendations. Yeah, a lot of people in chat are recommending games. Thanks, you too. Oh, sick. We're gonna have to mulligan this. That's actually better. Watergate's a great 2-player game. OG Sin. Yeah, I've heard good things about Watergate. It kind of falls into the... It's not exactly the kind of game that I know Maddie and I would enjoy, but I've heard good stuff about it. I've heard really good stuff about it. This is dope. We'll get back to it. Between games. I wish I had someone to play Curious Cargo with. Love Pipeline. Curious Cargo, Maddie doesn't love because it is... Like, it can be really mean. It's really, really thinky. Like, the things you do on turn 1 ripple in an absurd way throughout the turns. It is something else. All right, let's go. This hand. Zoom in. Hold on. Ian wrote something really good about agenda value. Give me 1 second. I need plan to turn out. So we have this on the table, which is like, whatever. If they trash it for 1 is actually really bad for us. I don't really think we need to protect this. Like, this looks like a Rashida, and it's not. I don't know. This message looks a lot better with some formatting. As soon as you lock the die. Thank you. Okay. There's a lot of love in chat for Hana Mikoji, but I don't know what that is. A normal agenda costs 2 value units per advancement, 1 click and 1 credit. QPM costs 6 value units to score. Echo Chamber takes 7 to score. Gene Placer takes 9. False Flag takes 17. So you spend 46 value units to score 7 points. 3 times Atlas and a hostile is 22 value points for comparison. You're just jealous, aren't you? Yeah, no, it's terrible. 7 advancements isn't a terrible number. It is absolutely horrific. It did work though. That's all that you need to remember. This is bad, but that's how it goes. My partner and I tend to prefer co-op 2-player games. I feel like she gets very competitive with something like Watergate. Yeah, Joe, that's actually something we've been finding out a fair bit too. Is that like we've been recording games who wins what, and there's some games where it's like totally one-sided, which is not great. And so cooperative games are like the really nice point, where like we don't have quarterbacking issues. We played a really good game of Arkham earlier. They did not trash that earlier this week. It was really, really good, but it was 3 players. Point being, Arkham's a fun game. Okay, we have no really active on-table plays. I'm jealous I never scored a share this that expensively. Hey, new remote. Yeah, this is about to get very pricey. That's why we stick mostly to co-op for 2-player. Yeah, no, that's fair. The game isn't always one with who spends their value units better. Boomerang, on this remote server, we have lost a quantum predictive model. We will res the authenticator just so that we have it for later. Yo, Nat, I've heard good stuff about innovation, but I'm not sure what it is. I understand it's a game where the value of the cards like radically shifts based off of some sort of external something. That's all I know. Okay. They boomerang through that pretty actively. We were hoping they run through this, maybe consider the bypass. I don't think so. And these are all like really bad trashables when they access them when they don't have abilities. Spin Doctor for the 2nd time. We only have 2 in the deck. That's gone. Turning Wheel spinning up. And they're on 11 credits, and our board state is so much worse than we can imagine. Okay, Ixarn, I'll get to that list in a second. Like, do we want to score this out? And by score this out, I mean advance it? No, I don't like this. Compared to our last game, this seems unwinnable. Like, we just have to commit to our shtick. Games I own, 2-player, Morels, Jaipur, Airland and Sea. That's on the list. That's a good one. Patrick, Undaunted Normandy, Mr. Jack, Curious Cargo, Stratego, Chess, War Chest, Onitama, Targi, Lost Cities, Mandala, Battle Line, Codenames, Duet. Interesting. That seems like a good collection. Innovations on BGA with fully implemented rules, wacky card powers that progressively grow as you go through the ages. Super cool. All right, Keiko's down. I've had worse is out, so at least they're not going to get value from the Gene Splicer. I feel like this is how you score out a Corn Orb and a Daily Cast. This is how you score out a Puppet Master, right? I feel like the 2 res cost on Gene Splicer is a steep for something you've already need to put 3 advances on. Joe, then you realize that False Flag costs you like 3 to res. But that cost wasn't too bad in like Glacier decks that would run only 3-pointers and use this as their 7th point. In this sort of deck, which we have no economy, yeah. You feel it a bit worse. Okay, so we could get economy. Okay, you might be asking, Andre, what is your plan here? We're gonna start with this, and we're gonna name resource because that's what they have. Hanamakoji is like I cut you choose game with a little area of a majority. I don't think I've ever played an I cut you choose. I really don't think I've played anything with those mechanics in it. Innovations like Civ in a card game format, you need to play a few games to learn the different cards. Oh, we picked up recently, what's it called? There's like a deck building game, Imperium. Yeah, we picked up Imperium Classics, but we've only got one game of it so far, and we've enjoyed it. Maddie actually kicked my ass. I played Twisted Fables at Adepticon Deck Builder 1v1 Fighter. I've never heard of that, Ken. We picked up BattleCon, and we also picked up the other one. The simpler one, made by the same people. And they're both quite enjoyable. I own way more BattleCon than we play. I'd actually like to get rid of some of the BattleCon. Turning wheels at 3. They hit the top of R&D and didn't steal and didn't trash. That actually puts it to really low possibilities. Probably ice. No. Yeah, they figured this one out. It's not that one. Totally different one. I see why you think it might be that one, but it's not. Trust. Oh, yeah, that's why. They're like, yeah, you can have that because that's largely irrelevant if they can win off of R&D. True flag. No. So true. Yeah, this is really bad for us. Like, we're going to be able to score out Gene Splicer for like 36 agenda units, value units, and then we're going to lose the game. Actually, now that they know we have this, it allows us to score at the Global Food Initiative, which is not like a really exciting thing that we can do. Breakers, they have access to MK Ultra. Fantastic. Such good value. Oh, this is bad. Boomerang hitting the bin, MK Ultra hitting the bin as well. This doesn't seem to be, with Keiko showing up, this doesn't look like the Ma versions with Aeneas and Salsat Slums. So I feel like that's better for us because we would actually get a bit eviscerated by an Ama. Hippo means they actually have to break the subroutine authenticator, which doesn't cost them much. It's 3 credits if they get done to Orchestra. So 3 credits will be here too, but they don't have their Blorch. So they either take a tag and welcome to HQ, or let us get our money back, which would be valued. Oh, a tag. A reverse IP block of sorts. Is this a... No, it's not. The artist. Thought it was an Adam Doyle. It's not. It's really hard to read the name. Mariusz Sergio? Something like that? Rozeki suggesting it's not an APOC? They're definitely not an APOC. I don't think you would put it on a turning wheel. All right, well, we have a really bad play here of credit to hedge fund. They know we have a preemptive. Our preemptive gets us access to like okay cards, not amazing cards. I think we just do credit hedge fund so we can consider jamming this echo chamber off the table because we need to get to game point for our traps to actually be like scary. Gods, I want to put Mushin in this deck. Yeah, it's the sort of deck that Mushin would be very much at home. How's it going, Sage? Forgot to mention it a few minutes ago, but if you're having trouble figuring out Stanza, the check out solo playthroughs. The streamer name is Greg. TMB games with her, especially the earlier ones he plays with her, where I think he explains a bit more. Okay, thank you. I seen one game online. They trashed an NGO front, got a turning wheel. That's a problem for us. Which was played through by a lady who I now think works for Chip Theory Games, but her playthrough was so well produced. That's an overrider. Deer's not trashing it. I think they're going to be scared of all advanceable cards, and I think we can use that to our advantage. But like paying 4 credits for this, not amazing. All right, so their beginning of turn triggers Paladin Puemo, 2 Rozekis, a daily cast. They also mill a paperclip, and they still have, and they found a Black Orchestra, so they have all of their breakers. While we are clicking for credits, so we can hedge fund. Now, they in theory know 2 cards in hand here. I think they're going to hippo it, though. So they can just like build turning wheel tokens and also flush our hand out, which is going to be a problem for us. Because we cannot Put a toll booth there. Preemptive, the card they knew. Turning wheels at 7. If we draw an agenda, we really have nowhere for it to go. Because we're not forcing them to spend credits, so they're going to be able to do whatever they want. And now they're going to access 5 cards. No, not even. Turning wheel. Daily Cats, like... Max is a bit good. Free cards are good. All right, toll booth. I think they'd actually be very happy if we res this, because it's 1 boomerang, 1 hippo away from being an absolute reversal of all the credits we could possibly own. All right, so I figured out how we can get to 3 points. But I don't know how we can get farther than this. I feel like when we have unmitigated success with a deck like this on our first game, we should probably just stop. It's weird how we haven't learned that around here. Deer, they got 14. Running HQ here. They can flush it out. Luckily, we did boost our food. They keep seeing the same preemptive. Now, they can lock the top of the deck. And, like, we don't have a shuffle effect. We have 2 spin doctors. One of them's in the bin. So if they see the top, like, 10 cards, what are we going to do? Like, they're in total control where they know that we can't score out. Like, we just literally don't have the funds to score out. Oh, that snuck through. That's cute. I think they'll call it. Like, the worst case scenario here, maybe they check archives and they see that there's the cerebral in here. So they think maybe this is just a single tag. If we can sneak this out, like, it's kind of good. Oh, they have imps as well. 1 hitting the bin. 1 paperclip gone. No rebirth so far. 1 labor rights as well, but I don't think it's going to come to that. The same preemptive. Wow. Mad Dash, R&D. We're going to get a turning wheel. They can win. We don't have a tagging ice to put in front of here for quantum, but they're going to see a lot of cards here. I think it's 7. And a Mad Dash on top of that. So if this fails, like, oh man. Unseen, unseen, unseen. Advancement? Okay. So they're technically on 4 points. They could win here. If they hit the Puppet Master, they win. QPM, 5 points. Whew. I joined last game just in time to see a false flag in your agenda area. Now I need to find the time to go back and see how you found the time to score it out. Joe, it was an uphill fight. Return to Dark Tower is a great co-op. Haven't played it at 2 specifically, but it should be good. Is that the one with the actual tower in the middle? Okay. So we're going to take a risk. Okay, the top of the deck is safe. Space Camp is an HQ. Shit, they win. That was their only chance. Good game. I feel like that was the only option there. Yeah, so we had to put the Beal out there because if we put it behind the Authenticator, what's the other servers? Not enough. We could get to 6 points. We also could have started advancing this, but like they have 28 credits. It's so easy for them to run this first click and then clear any amount of tags. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like, we just can't do enough stuff to like destabilize them, especially when they have like the an ultra efficient deck where there's nothing they do that doesn't like catapult them forward. I can get to 6. It's super. Yeah, not enough money. And it's the fact that on top of that, we don't have enough money means that their opponent doesn't have to respect a lot of the things that you would have to respect that has a huge impact on how the game plays out. When it comes to NBN decks, things like hard-hitting news, even public trail, like they just have to not do anything. Yeah. I just can't force you to spend any money. Do Rozekis or not. Cool. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty accurate of how that game could easily go. And what's coming in our deck? A Funhouse would actually be really good on top of R&D, but we drew it 1 turn too less. It's interesting. Authenticator is like 2 credits like to bypass it. And then they can spend 3 credits basically to clear the tag, right? 2 credits and then click. So breaking this or bypassing it really doesn't change the cost to interact with it, which is neat. It's like kind of similar to how IP block works. IP block is you pay 3 credits now, or you pay 3 credits to break it with paperclip. It changes a bit with Link. But the difference with IP block, which makes it like really exciting, is that it has huge text versus AIs. Yeah. Thanks for the game. Yeah, so I don't know what we could have done to slow them down. And if we do res a toll booth, like, which does seem good, they break it for, you know, 6 credits, 9 credits. That's honestly pretty good. But if as soon as they pull 1 hippo down and then we lose 8 credits off of a toll booth sync, that's it. Hey, cheers. Maybe we shouldn't have pushed that out, but I felt like it was our best choice because the only other ways that we had points on the table was to actually advance this thing out, which we could do, but we couldn't afford, and they can easily tank the tags. And that's also the thing like this. Like, they know that we had a cerebral, but they can take the brain damage. It doesn't change the game. Would this be better in CTM? It feels like the constant trickle of tags makes it more likely that psychographics might hit. Yeah, maybe. You have to go down to 12 influence, which I don't think would be a huge deal. The CTM only really impacts if they're trashing things, and the issue is like we don't present that many things that they actually have to trash. Well, to some extent, right? Like maybe no, that's not entirely true. I think the best part about CTM is that it would protect our economic assets, and we need to add some amount of economic assets to the deck. Like we need to add pad campaigns at a minimum, like something at a minimum, which would be good. And then they have to deal with that, and then the tag, which actually does, you know, slow them down and pushes them or pressures them to do certain things. Creates nice forks when they got both damage and tags from stopping Gene Splicer. I wouldn't call it exactly a fork because the damage really doesn't matter, but it does mean that like if they want to trash it, they have to take a tag, which obviously is a problem. It's a neat deck. It's cool. I'm like so surprised that it doesn't have certain cards in it, but I think all those cards rotated. I think the cards that I'm thinking of have rotated. I'm pretty sure they're all the cards that were like at the end of the what's it called? Was it the lunar cycle I'm thinking of? No. The Valley? Okay, it must be the Valley, but I was pretty sure there was like NBN cards that say like put an advancement on a card. Am I making this up? No, it was definitely in the cycle that had what am I talking about? There's an asset that says it was in San. There's like a card. This is the beginning of turn. If this is res, put an advancement on a card. And there's also a card that says if this was an agenda and the runner accesses it, add it to the thing. Something like that. Let me just find these because these are like the perfect cards that you want for a deck like this. There'd be the assets. Yeah, early premiere and award bait would actually be pretty good for the deck too. And franchise city are the ones I'm thinking of. These are long rotated. But this is great. When your turn begins, you may pay a credit to place an advancement on a card, advance in a server. This actually did a really big deal, was a really big deal in some of the old, like really, really disgusting controlling the message decks before when breaking news was still a thing, because you could score out a breaking news on the table and still have 2 clicks left, which means they could just die to something like boom, which is wild. This is really strong. And then on top of that, we have Franchise City, which if the runner accesses an agenda, you can res this. You have to pre-res it. There's no like reactionary res. So then this would be worth an agenda point. So you can start putting agendas on the table and Franchise City at the same time, and it'd be fantastic. Yeah, these would work really well in the deck, but yeah, I think they would actually work pretty fine. Ian, what is this? Is this fake agendas? Swiss cheese is yellow. Okay, this is the deck they were talking about before. So this was a Mushin NBN deck. 3rd in Swiss, 14th after cut at Worlds. So Degree Mill, Explodapalooza, Reeducation, Show of Force. So this deck was actually trying to kill you, if I can guess that right. Ghost Branch was the old NBN advanceable deck. Just advanceable trap, excuse me, that would give you tags. It was kind of like the June bug. Give you 1 tag for 1 advancement, so a bit cheaper than False Flag, but it can't be agenda points. You got news teams to slow them down. You have Psychic Field, and Psychic Field probably in this deck we also have. Oh, we don't even have Price Hack, but Psychic Field was the strongest unadvanced trap in the game. It just wiped your hand 66% of the time. If you had this on top of an upgrade that does damage and they access them in the wrong order, that could actually just kill them. And there were competitive decks that just did Psychic Field into Price Hack. And then we have Hard-Hitting News on top of that. Our tag punishment is Psychographic, so we can fast advance out Shore of Force for lethality. And then you have Neural EMP. This is wild. Yeah, why are 3 Neural EMPs here? And the Ice Suite was just Slot Machine, Data Raven, Vanilla. You could somewhat recreate this. You would be losing the Ghost Branches. There's nothing that really does this. The psychic fields don't exist exactly. The June bugs are now twice as much influence. You have no Mushin, and I think that's going to be the biggest deal. Oh, you Mushined out re-education. That makes so much sense. So when you score re-education, you can bottom any amount of cards. You've seen this probably with what's it called? Neurospike decks. So the idea is that you get all the cards out of their hand, and then you just end them with a neural EMP. Yeah. Psychic, as back in the day, yeah, Psychic Field was tech against 419. I've seen this happen. How's it going, Dave? Yeah, this is neat. Yeah, if they're really scared of Mushining, and some of the Mushin decks you saw in NBN were just like Mushin Beals. It'd be like, it's a Beal, it's a 5/2, or potentially something that really hurts you. This was played at Crown of Lasers. That's so cool. Okay. Before we go to the next thing, I'm just gonna open my app and get back into the board games real quick, just to go over the 2-player games. Okay, if this is still something we want. Arkham Horror, fantastic. Fog of Love, really interesting and good. Radlands, phenomenal. Summoner Wars, people like it a lot. I haven't played enough. Airland and Sea, we've talked about. Santorini, honestly, one of my favorite. Santorini is a really nice abstract game that also comes with like player powers and different win conditions, which really do mix up the game. I can play Santorini for hours. Arboretum's fantastic. Doomtown, and they're putting out a new core set this year, is a very, 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 very good game. Calico, you can play as 2-player. So a lot of these games are games you can play as 2-player. Skyterror is phenomenal as a 2-player game. I'm gonna end up buying or making Hive. I got an abstracts generally, but it's got a cool theme. A lot of people. Hive is amazing. Cascadia is a 2-player game we've been enjoying. Jaws as a 2-player game is pretty good. I'm a huge fan of Res Arcana. Tashkalar, haven't played enough of. Twilight Struggle, curious, how's it going? It's like the BGG head of 2-player games, but I've never played it. What else? We've been playing Everdell as a 2-player game. It's all right. It's pretty good as a 2-player game. Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion as a 2-player game is perfect. I like Agricola as a 2-player game, but I'm weird. I like Agricola as any player game. Great Western Trail we've been playing as 2-player games. My City is fantastic as a 2-player game. It has a legacy mode that's really good. Lord of the Rings, LCG has been good. Lost Ruins of Arnak we've been playing as a 2-player game, but I think we're in the minority there. We picked up Shipwreck Arcana, or we pulled it out during Easter and played it 3 players. That game's really interesting. And I think I gotta stop here before I keep going. Now we're hitting like bigger player counts. But like PAX Premier 2nd Edition, we've played as 2-player. It's not the right amount. Millennium Blades, we played as 2 players. It's probably not the best way to play it. Horrified as 2 players is actually pretty good. And the list continues on. Dune Imperium and Lost Ruins are awesome at 2 players. I still haven't tried Dune Imperium, but Lost Ruins at 2 players is like great. It's really good. Weirdly, I found Fog of Love more fun to play with someone who isn't your real life partner. My partner and I tended to end up simulating our relationship in games. Yeah, Fog of Love is really interesting. Because on its cover, I think it markets itself as like a romantic comedy simulator or something like that, which doesn't line up at all. But it's basically a game in which you generate characters, and you generate a character for your player, for the person you're playing with, which is really interesting. It asks you like, what is the first thing you notice about them? And then it gives you a couple options on cards like nose ring, beautiful eyes, they're very tall, they smell bad. And like you pick one of these, and then they have to build on that to create a character. And then the game gives you like secret kind of goals of what you want in a relationship, and then gives you like traits and abilities, and it kind of ranks different things. Like you really want this you're a neat person, you really, it's interesting. And then it puts you through situations that test your relationship over time, and then you come to a conclusion. And sometimes only one player can win if one player wants to end the relationship, because that will make them happy, but the other doesn't. Like it's weird. I've seen article headlines of like, this game has ruined our marriage and stuff like that, and I could see that happening. So you kind of have to make like rules before you play it. Like, we're gonna make up characters, we're not gonna be ourselves, I'm gonna act differently, I'm gonna act how I think my character would act, not myself. It's an interesting game, and I've never got too deep in it. I've always like replayed the first scenario over and over. So a date game, not a wife game. I don't actually know. No, you could do both. There's definitely people who would fall into both categories. Like, I have no doubt. It's just like the game exists to simulate fights to some extent. Like, it'll come up with like, you're in a fight right now. The fight is about this. How do you solve it? And that like can have, it can vibrate outside of the game. Who knows? Did you say Skyterra? No, not exactly. It's Skytear. It's one word. Skytear, like Tear. It's a MOBA like game. It's a mix of a card game and a miniatures MOBA game. It's quite fun. My internet crapped out during the good part of listing a bunch of games. Gonna have to back and check the VOD. I have so many games to research now. There's a lot there for sure. I had to actually cut myself off. All right, I'm gonna build a runner deck. Yeah, it's a weird game. It's a really weird game. I don't exactly know. Why does it only say this one's rotated? Standard. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so things we want to do on the stream. I wanted to figure out what's a good corp deck. Don't know if we're going to figure it out within an hour and a half, but I wanted to try something different because I've been playing a heck of a lot of As this week. Just like been grinding As decks on kitchen table and been enjoying it. But I think there's a kind of As I want to build. I want to build Shaper As, because so much of what As is doing right now has been like kind of Geist As, which is okay. It can't do it anywhere near as good enough, but it can put on like a pretty good facsimile. But like, what about if we can just play Shaper type As? And a big thing of it is I was looking at connections, and I think the issue I have with As right now is it takes a while to speed up, and right now the meta seems a bit fast. So it's maybe just not the best situated thing. Like if most games are going on average 3-4 turns longer than they are now, As would probably be in a really good spot. But there's a lot of decks that are trying to win by turn 10, and that's always going to be an issue unless you like pack in the right disruption or you make your deck even more aggressive to set up. But I was thinking, what about if we like really embrace that mid-range? Like really embrace that mid-range and go for it. And I think the card that I want to play, because I haven't played it in forever, is Professional Contacts. Professional Contacts is like, what was the linchpin? Let me just make sure I'm in standard. Like the linchpin card in Shaper builds classically for a really long time. It comes in for 5 credits, which is a lot. But as a connection can actually install for 4 credits. And if you can career fair this down on turn 1, you can get Proco down turn 1 for 1 credit. That seems really impressive. And then if you can just set up over time by clicking a Proco and then installing, we don't really have the install click compression that you do with Haley, unless like, I can't really think of what that would be. But if we can just play Control Criminal, and then I don't know what our console would be. Maybe we'd want to just play Paragon, because if we want to run once per turn, that's good. I feel like Masterwork is a bit maybe anti-synergistic. It's really good that you can install your hardware clicklessly. Maybe that's a click compression we want. So that we can install our boomerang at the click we're running. But the card draw that we're going to get off of that, yeah, maybe that's good. It's just like, I don't want to draw cards. I want to Proco cards. You know what I mean? Anyone else tried Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn? Yeah, Nelson, I own all of Ashes before they rebooted it. And then I got the 1.5 update kit, but we haven't played a lot of it. Shemendrix, have you won your Star Championship yet? No, we probably won't, but it's on Saturday, so we couldn't have. Fog of Love is more tabletop role-playing than a traditional game with a winner? Not exactly, because there are direct winners and there are like goals, and it's not like you have goals and you want to build towards them, and there's like mechanics to the game. Like I need to end with this stat between the range 3 and 9. So like you're crunching integers. It's like not exactly as open-ended as it might sound. Yeah, 3 fair 3 is our starting foundation. Exactly. And then we can do some interesting things where like we can start career fairing out also what's her name? Which is going to be a bit awkward. We can career fair out Class Act, and then hitting a Proco and getting a Class Act draw is kind of interesting. I know Pat's a really big fan of Ashes and continues to play the new stuff. They rebooted it recently, and the design looks a lot more elegant. Okay, so we're going to put 3 Proco in there, and then we're going to try and build ourselves out as mid-range as we can. So we'll be able to have toolbox cards. We'll be able to just like set up, and we want to like kind of make things overwhelming. What other career fair targets are there than casts? Hernando for playing Control. Ooh, Hernando's a really good idea. Let's see. So things that we want to install that will give us the value of career fair, which is something we want to do. We want to install cards that cost more than 3 in theory. So things that we have. Daily cast is always a classic. Never feels bad about that. We can also consider data folding, because I don't know how heavy we're going to be on programs. There's also a chance that we could make this deck into a security nexus deck. Maybe that's attaching slow on top of slow, but who knows? DJ Fenris is definitely an option. You technically, there's not that many good identities I think we'd be excited to like run into. Yeah, Macintosh, how's it going? I think Masterwork Boomerang is like the late game that we want. But for what it's worth, we can run multiple consoles. There's nothing wrong. You can do it modernly. Other things, DreamNet. If we get to 2 link, this is quite nice, but I don't know how much we're gonna be running. Think fondly off-campus apartment. If we could play off-campus apartment, we rebuild our Geist for sure. And Earthrise Hotel is an option, but a Class Act seems like a thing you'd want to do on top of that, or like before that. Red team gets an As discount. Oh, that's a good point, Brian. I just don't know if we want to run that much. Like if we're a professional context deck, a lot of times we want to like Proco install, as opposed to like red team poking centrals. But maybe we'll just play 1. just so we have something cool to do. That's a good idea. Yeah, it is a job. There's very few jobs in this game and resources. This might actually be the only job resource. No, I guess telework, right? Is a job, probably. Paul up is just good. Pat taps are just good. Slows down the corp, which is good because we're going to be not that quick anyways. If they trash these, we're laughing. Miss Bones is good. I wouldn't go anywhere without 2 Miss Bones. Maybe I'm a coward. This is starting to look like a deck. Armitage was a job. Yeah, bank job was a job. But modernly, I think that list has shrunk considerably. Oh, what else we got? I guess psych testing is a job, but it doesn't matter. It's 0. Black File Class Act. Yeah, I think we want to play Class Act. I'm gonna feel like, I'm guessing that with the Class Act, I'll play Attorney World. That we're gonna, like, this is gonna be awkward because we're gonna be drawing consistently with Proco anyways. So it's gonna maybe be awkward to do both of these. And then we can just play like the biggest, chonkiest breakers because that's what we can do. We can afford to do it, hopefully. We're going to get to a late game or like we're going to play down our Amina. It's going to kick ass. We're going to play Bagalter over Revolver because we want one-stop solutions. And then we're going to play Paperclip probably because it's Paperclip. Interestingly, day job isn't a job. It doesn't have a type, does it? I think folding is an option. I'm not like, I'd probably play Rizeki over folding, but it's an option for sure. Other things, are there anything that's like really value oriented we'd be excited to? I want like a way to win the game. It's weird how we always just get to Stargate at some point. 18 resources. I know it's a criminal deck. It's good. Bagat would be cool, but it's like 5 influence, isn't it? Isn't it like an absurd amount of influence? 4. I don't know. Let's talk about hardware because Az does love hardware. So 3 boomerangs is a good start. We want a console. Docklands Pass. Probably play 1. It's really quite good. And I don't think we have to do all the cute stuff. Like I feel like Masterwork on its own might just be enough. We could also probably just play 2 of them if we're not running that much because we don't need the MU that quickly. But I feel like we could actually go out of their way and play like a different console. Like we could probably play a different console. I don't think we need the Masterwork Boomerang package because I don't know if we're going to be playing as well. I don't think we're going to be playing Prognostic Q Loop. It doesn't make that much sense to us. What else do we want? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking Rubicon Switch? Now this is going to be pretty difficult because like that click compression of Proco, or not click compression, sorry. The amount of clicks that you have to spend Procoing makes this pretty obnoxious. What's our game plan? Shaper remote lock? Yeah. It is exactly that. Yeah, I don't love this Masterwork, honestly. I just don't think it's going to get enough. Like, the boomerangs do replay themselves, which is good. You can quickly install them, which is good. Maybe that's enough, but this also draws when you install it, which is cute, but I don't know. Let's play all the good cards. Bravado, it's a bit aggressive, but we'll take it. Diversion, we got. Yeah, I guess we want to slow the game down, which is nice. We'll play hedge funds. I mean, sure gambles. Nice try. Diversion is, or not diversion. Falsified is like, it's good if we're playing control. What's this shaper that's actually got a console? I don't know. Like at that point, you're playing an Onicom deck. Is there a good criminal remote lock deck we can reference? No, there isn't. There has almost never been. 1x DZMZ? I don't know. We're not going to install that many things. We're going to get our Rizekis in here. Like this just seems like a criminal flavor of this, of like good deck. I feel like the Masterwork could change. Like maybe this should just be, what's it called? I feel like this should just be a Paragon. I don't think we're going to run that much. Like maybe this mid-range kind of criminal will work. Like we could always tune it to be a bit faster if we wanted to, like drop the Hernando, drop the red team. The red team is a bit too cute, maybe for its own good. I think the red team is probably a bit too, nah, let's try it. What's our one last event? Mutual favorite? Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. No frills, but like, let's see what Proco does modernly. Let's do it. I think the stream is called Contact Pro. Is there anything we're missing? Like, this just seems fine. Do we want 6 MU? 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Kind of. Yeah, maybe we do want 6 MU. There's no good 2 MU console, right? Like, what would we have to do for MU? Like, we'd have to play a DZMZ. I think that's the cheapest, like, reasonable MU. Ma. Honestly, like, I'd be into that, but Ma then becomes its own influence sync. But Ma would be really good. I just think Ma is 6 influence, right? It's really tough. It really is tough. Like, we have to play, like, a memory diamond or something. Keiko's 2 cards for 2 MU. Yeah, but I don't think you play Keiko. Like, you're not excited to play Keiko unless you're also playing companions. Gauntlet doesn't exist. Is Gauntlet 2MU? Oh my god, Gauntlet is 2MU. What a bug. When it acts as a card from HQ, acts as an additional, you know what, like, whatever. Like, whatever. We've solved it. We can drop the Gauntlet Docklands Pass now, so that bought us a deck slot. That's good. 4 credit Gauntlet, not the worst. We are control. I also like if we want to play really control, like nobody plays Tapworms anymore. Why? Nobody has enough money. There's too much like Cyberdeck Sandbox hate. I feel like these are all the answers to the question. Missing Boxy right about now. I'd actually rather play Gauntlet than Boxy, but you're not wrong. Okay, we're missing a card here. What's the whole podcast episode about how the Gauntlet is the worst console? I haven't heard about that, Disperse, but it's definitely not the worst console. Like there's Maui, so it gets worse. Do we play Maui? We don't play Maui. Gauntlet's better. Yeah, what else do we do? We have 1 card left. How can we not figure that out? Like, do we just put an overclock? Gauntlet makes me sad that I never managed to get a con deck to work. I always think I can make a con deck work and then realize there's 12 influence, so have fun with that. Look what you did, I know. What do we do for our last slot? Plus Hushik, 5 tribal? There's not enough cards in the game that cost 5. This is a rare number for installable. Like, what cards can we name that cost 5 to install? Gauntlet, Mockler. That's it. Yeah, Janktivus, you did this. What? Oh, Proco. Okay, hold on. Red team. Wait, we actually have it? No. Don't encourage this. There's not a lot of cards that cost 5. That's an expensive card. Yogg, Assimilator. Okay. Yogg is not, I can't play Yogg, unfortunately, but yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, like Force of Nature? Angolo? Carmen? Carmen costs 5? Yeah. Okay, so there are some expensive cards out there. Good to know. Do we also play Adjusted Matrix? Do we also play Sneak Door? I don't think we do. I think we just want to play like a good hardware event or something. I'll just keep these 2 open as hardware or event or something. So we'll just figure out what we like here. So your draw card field a little slow. Most Proco decks play Diesel on top of it. Okay, this is Diesel we have at home. Are you happy, Giles? What format are your local in-person groups playing? Scrub, on Saturday we're playing Standard, but it's the first Standard event we've played in person in a while. The last couple meetups have all been startup. Black File because it's going to take that long to win? Probably not wrong. I don't think actually, no, Giles, we're good because we have Class Act. No, we don't need it. This is our Diesel at home. It's pretty good. They serve it in this nice glass over here. I'll just play an inside job caller today. Contact Pro. Dirty Laundry would probably be acceptable. But a lot of those little shaper decks didn't love to play Dirty Laundry. Oh, wait, do we play Prepaid? Prepaid's like not the worst in this deck. Wait, do we play Prepaid? How much value do we get from Prepaid? No? Yeah, some? I feel like 16 events is not enough for Prepaid. But unless we like rebirth into I feel like this deck would actually want to rebirth into Steve. Once like we've set up, we don't get that much value out of Az, unfortunately. Okay, so maybe this is all a mistake, but at least we're gonna learn something. 16 before them cost 0. Yeah, it's not great. Hey Elwin, how's it going? What's the plan? We are trying out a Proco Az deck to see how this goes. Because I've been just jamming exclusively Az and been having a good time. This is a Corp deck. We got so far. How are you doing? New runner deck. The second button, they hide it. Az, caps lock, Zaya. I did too slow. Hold on. We have to wait for it to reset. AZ. Nailed it. DJ Fenris, it's like, I don't know. There's not enough good targets. I keep forgetting that we can't DJ into in-faction stuff, but that makes sense. Runner. Whatever happened to 1x Mamie, I don't think I ever considered it. Because you can, at that point, you basically just play pad campaign, right? Or sorry, prepaid. Oh, and there's Gauntlet in it, which is going to be so sick. It's going to be so good. All right, JTF, our rival. Was Stargater only multi-axis? No, we have one turning wheel if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay, it's a fast deck. That's fine. This is cool. This is cool. Cool. We have Career Fair, Proco, Rizeki, Sure Gamble. No joke though, this hand slaps. Like, this is really good. Hey JT. Best of luck. We've been playing against JT like every week. Yeah, this looks fine. Like, it's gonna be slow. Corp is acting. Okay. Jeez. Installing gauntlets or personal win condition. All right, we don't have a lot of ways to interact with Sports Metal. We have no fast events hate. We have no like event destruction or operation destruction. So they're going to be able to play their game plan while we're going to struggle over here, shaking hands in the glass white building. Oh, this is weak to boomerang. All right, so we are going to, no matter what's happening on the other side of the board, we are just. Wait, did we just doof him? You hovered over mulligan while talking through. Oh, we can't do. That's 2 clicks. I'm gonna Rizeki. It's probably not right. I feel like we should dig deeper to our deck. But Rizeki turn 1 obviously is the best. Broco 5 times install gauntlet. Yeah, they need ice up HQ too. All right, get your sheet out. Go. That was a really good start though. What in the? Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is going to be a fast one, y'all. They have no credits. They can install a card, placing advancements, but they only have 0 credits. So what is their plan? Oh no, because they're going to get 5 credits off of this and their ability. No, they drew, so they're going to get 3 credits off of this. So we need to draw into our inside job or 3 boomerang right now. Oh no, we can just diversion run that remote server. YOLO. Looked like black file is the correct. It kind of was. So if this is something they can res, they can duck. But we're definitely going to go and trash this. Take your money. Run server 1. Destroy everything. Not a vanilla. Could have been bad. Sandbox. We'll take it. They get 2 credits. Arella. Gotta have to trash that. What do? They gain 2. Fantastic. Ah, I was right there. That's fine. I don't feel bad about that. Ideally, if we did boomerang doof, that would be better. What is this? What is this? Oh, how many cards do we access with a gauntlet if they never ice HQ? 1, but it's really powerful. It's still better than Maui. What is this an NGO? Like, do we just run this? Is this what NGOs look like? It has to be an NGO. I'm gonna assume it's an NGO. Mutual favor. The hats on it are really good. Another corn orb. I just hate going centrals. Like, it's Stargate or bust. I think a corn orb will be better than a gamble. Agsec? Yeah, it's an NGO. That's fine. Really hope it's luminal. It would be such a good luminal. Oh my god. A Jinja? I hate this. Sprint? They installed a gatekeeper into a drafter? Fantastic. We really needed diversion a long time ago. I really do not like this card. This is an awful card. This card says, do you own a Stargate or do you lose the game? Sports doesn't play NGO. Sports doesn't play any of this. Sprint is really, really cool with Jinja. We need to trick him to Jinjing HQ somehow. Yo, the pro gauntlet tech. Second sprint? Please do not sprint the Jinja server. So unknown, what was the order? Is gatekeeper drafters on the outside if I'm not mistaken. That sprint actually whiffed. So I'm assuming they shuffled their agendas away if they have them, but like we need to do right now. I'm clicking Proco. That gets us through a fair bit considering their money is not too robust. Oh, the problem with the Proco. Okay. Honestly, we're doing okay. We are doing okay right now. Turn 1 Proco start, pretty good. Pretty okay. Okay, it's another drafter. Ice on HQ, ice on the remote server. That's okay. A card in server 1. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's drafter into drafter. So they have to res 2 drafters, which will put them down to 6 credits. They can install one of these cards. It doesn't do anything. We can get into this remote server. We can fatal mistake icing HQ. We can actually get in here, right? Like we have to do boomerang off of one of them and inside job off the other. The question is, what is the optimal order? Because if that's a Rashida, it's a disaster for us. Thinking. We've also only triggered our As ability, I think, once so far, which is not great. I feel like not good at all, in fact. So if we, inside job, if they res the drafter into drafter, the gatekeeper was the one that ends the run. So I think we have to boomerang the gatekeeper and then inside job the server. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Because we know this is not a vanilla. We could still get owned here. But we'll see. That hat is slightly too small. Because the drafter could fire, but it's not like they're installing a Managarm. Neither of these are installs are too impactful. They have nothing in hand. So like, I don't care about the drafter that much. Oh my God. Maddie runs through drafters so much to the point that like, it is really, really good. I have not considered how much she runs through drafters. I put a drafter on HQ. She's like, I don't care. And it's incredible. Absolutely goofing me. Yeah, this doesn't seem that impactful. This brings him a sprint back. We have enough credits to trash the Jinja, which is going to make the server really hard to ice up. Boomerang looks like it'll go to waste. But now we've made them spend credits. And from this, like, we can recover, we can drop Stargate, we can go. It's Arella coming back. Fine. And with 1 credit, I think we're safe here. Why would they res that? I don't know. It does something, right? Like, this is the only one that will fire if they res both of these, because they could res both of these and then nothing would happen. So this is the only thing that allows them to do something. I don't know if it's strictly correct. If they had like a Managarm, yeah. Oh, it lets them hide the agenda? Wait, so they installed Irrelevant to hide the agenda. That's not a spin doctor. This doesn't buy them anything. This is weird. It looks like they installed. Yeah, totally. Got it. So this allows us to take on the Jinja, and we can still drop a Stargate and then run our R&D and hit everything. Actually, but to some extent, we don't want to run everything. So this is an Arella. That's fine, I think. I'm gonna regret it. Jinja will come down. So the Stargate's really powerful because we can just make sure that they don't have agendas, let alone ways to recur. Ikawa, Sandbox, Eli. Okay. This will put us closer to winning. I think that's more important. Because there actually could be 5 points in here. Considering they over-installed, it's either 5 or 6 points. Sorry, 5 or 4 points in there. And they still need to click for credits. Like, they don't have the money to score at the sandbox that they just drew. We could also just run HQ. They only have 2 cards in hand. So now they drew... What was underneath it? What was the third card? So they have the sandbox in hand. So I'm going to run HQ first. It was an Eli. Thank you. I'm going to run HQ. No, we just Stargate first because we can win. Because we know this is not a spin doctor. Yeah. Thimble Rig, Hedge Fund, Arella. We'll get rid of the Thimble Rig because our breaker is really expensive. We'll run HQ, run archives. Oh, no, we can't do that last click. Hyperloop? Uh-oh. Toxic Cats Living in Harmony. The 5/3s. They got credits. So I have to run archives just because Ikawa takes money off of them. But now they're back in the bank. We win. Deck's good, guys. Everything we wanted was at our fingertips. We saved 2 credits with As. Wow, the gauntlet got there. Thanks for the game. Man, Jinja tilts me every time. Thank you, guy. Well done. Yeah. We were aggro. We had it. They dipped a little on credits. I'm surprised they tried to score out behind double drafter. Like, that doesn't do anything for us. Again, As didn't really matter. Anything else would have largely been better, but we got our brilliant opening and we got our diversion early. Like, we got things landed the way that they needed to. Let's try this again. Runner. But like, imagine opening with Career Fair into Proco. It's the threat that you might install the Gauntlet. Gauntlet wins games. You don't even need to install it. Gauntlet As. Oh, Rangi, how's it going? CTM? Oh, it's not great. I reckon with 1 link, we could have played the Citadel Sanctuary if we wanted to play some tech. Thanks, you too. Opening hand's good. Sure gamble Proco. We could always boomerang Bravado remote server. We could also mulligan into Miss Bones, but I feel like the fact that we have Proco and Sure Gamble means we're going to keep this hand. But a Miss Bones would be like one of the best opening. Like a Sure Gamble to Miss Bones is the best we can do. That's bad for us. I'm going to ignore it because we agreed that that's what we would do. Might be the wrong play, but I'm going to ignore it. Mamba is going to res a DBS. Oh, it's a Maryland. Full art. Fancy. I was trying to do a Thimblerig Rover Alco deck. I did not see that coming, JTF. That's wild. Ian kicked my butt several games in a row in the deck today. Good luck. Okay. Scared. Am scared. I want to check server 4. Server 3 not being res is really suspect. Kind of makes it sound like a trap. HQ iced means we're online. Yeah, very true. We could boomerang into Bravado HQ. At this point in the game might actually be fine. But maybe we'll draw a gauntlet first. That's good. That was good. We can install 2 of these. Orb is better than daily cast. We've learned our lesson. And we'll fight a war. Our game plan is to get down to Stargate. Oh, is the second Maryland? That does make sense. Greeting for value there. I struggle telling favor and CF apart. Career fair and favor. Wait. Oh, mutual favor and career fair? Server 5 might be an agenda. I think I want to check it. We have no like way to check it and gain value at the same time. Oh, that's bad. That's quite bad for us. I think we've lost the game. I think we have now lost the game. Yeah, that's disastrous. That can't be good. Okay, so here we can click for credit, throw out 2 cards. We can get rid of the mutual favor. Yeah, that's really bad. Man, that always feels so bad. You just run one of these, the game's over. It's not gonna be totally over. Why was that so bad? Because we're gonna get hard hitting news likely now. Because they're gonna be on 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 credits. We're gonna be a 4 and a link. Like we just spent 8 credits out of pocket that we didn't want to spend. Like we just lost 8 credits because we ran a card. Like, doesn't that sound a bit incredible? At this point, maybe the right thing would be to trash other things, but I feel like we just have to wait for Miss Bones. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of 2 boomerangs might be a bit much. Jeeves is res, so they can do install, install, install hard hitting. Or draw, draw, draw hard. No, not even. Okay, we're fine. Overreacting. Class Act, we can install that last click to draw 300 cards. I don't know how easily we call this as an asset. I feel like this also could be an agenda, but we just need to Miss Bones. This installs for 3. We draw 4. Miss Bones is there, and a gauntlet is there, so we're good. This is an agenda. Yeah. That's the bad one. Felt like we should check it. Oh, and the gauntlet only gets stronger. Fantastic. Okay. This is where things get awkward because we need a credit to Sure Gamble. So if we Proco, choose 1 card to add to the bottom, that is a beautiful interaction. Okay. We are stabilizing a wee bit. We haven't got Malia yet. Diversion's looking okay. We have to install the gauntlet at all costs. Amina might be necessary. Like, we're throwing out good cards, which is the problem. Like, we are just drawing too much. Maybe we need a Swift in this deck instead of the gauntlet, just so that we can play our run events and like gain value back. Because we're spending so much time hitting the Proco. It would actually be nice to be able to clicklessly run. I think that would actually be fine. Play like daily casts or dirty laundry, excuse me, and then like getting clicks back. I feel like we'd be okay with that. Yeah. Haven't seen the Diesel at home yet. This is our Diesel at home. We're not playing Blueberry. Okay, now the issues like this does make Miss Bones a fair bit worse. But I think, like, do we just gauntlet, let her rip? Gauntlet for 4? Yeah, we were talking about adding Blueberry. We didn't actually end up doing it. Because I realized we had Class Act, which is card draw. I think we just want to set up. Like, we do just want to set up. Career Fair doesn't really have targets because we have to put one of these back. I'm going to play this just because it is technically gets us a refund, but not something we want to be racing to the board right now. They haven't had a played a daily cast, or sorry, wow, a daily business show yet. So the chance that the gauntlet actually connects is not 0. They'll concede. No, they'll just jam all their agendas on the table. All right, we're gonna start checking these. Let's go. In theory, we should Proco first, but that's only if we have like dirty laundry or deuces or something like that. But we don't. Jeeves, no thanks. Server 9. Beal, thank you. Nice try, Rongi. Nice try. Proco. Yeah, I think we're fine. Just throwing that out. We don't know what 7 is. I'm expecting something spicy. Getting this in the bin is really good, so we can deal with paperclip. But like, we want to definitely take the time to hippo boomerang. The thing is, like, gauntlet only helps for res die. Oh, it's a sand. That's not good for us. That's quite bad. I think we have to ignore this and just flush HQ. So we will. IP block. We could do trace. We're gonna do trace instead. It's cheaper. We have link. They're down to 6 credits. And so we boomeranged appropriately. Wait. During a run, access 1 digital card for each piece ice protecting that you broke all subroutines on? Wait, hold on. Wait a second. We have to break it? Shit. It's actually bad for us. We actually have to break it. Oh, that's obnoxious. I'm doing it. I don't love the fact that we're paying 5 extra credits this turn. They shouldn't res this. They resed it? Oh, fantastic. We're going to see 3 cards. Build your own legwork. Breach server. Hard-hitting news? Fantastic. Not scary. Psychographics? That makes sense. Hard-hitting news? Fantastic. Shuffle it back. Make 8 credits. Okay, great. So anytime we run HQ, we need to put down the turning wheel first. We did not. That's fine. We didn't. 5 credits, but 3 accesses. Let's go. It's more. It's 6 credits. How many credits does legwork cost? It doesn't give you 2 MU. So I'm gonna put this down second click like a real winner, and I'm gonna run R&D, and we're gonna hit what's it called, a turnpike, and it's gonna be bad. Oh, fantastic. We've prepared for this. So we saw most of their hand. We're now gonna see the top of the deck. So we're hoping that we can just lock them out until we don't have to trash the Sansan. Pad campaign. You can draw that. Enjoy. Obviously, we should have put this down first, but we were so convinced it was going to convert to agendas. That's probably the pad campaign, but I'm willing to be surprised. Let's Proco for value draw. Fantastic. We can Proco again. Yeah, we do have 3 of those. That's going to happen from time to time. We'll go in R&D. 200 IQ play, install gauntlet, threaten him. Now we just sit and let the corp put all agendas out. Well, hopefully we're locking everything. If that's not the pad campaign, it's going to be really awkward. Because they can score 4 2s out on the table. Tomorrow's headline. We planned for this. We have a click left. We got really lucky that they didn't steal that. Or like jam that on the table and score it out. But we are technically winning. We are 1 Bologna from winning. Shit. They top decked that. So we just can't trash a card ever. I'm looking for it. Do we know what server 8 is? Yeah, it's a Jeeves. Okay, so if we Stargate, actually, we don't have to worry about what's it called. We'll install another class act for sure, because I don't think we want to Paul up. You can, in theory, Paul up Sansan before they put the second advancement, and that's like not the worst. Oh, that's really good. Wow, that's good. We just want to lock the top of the deck because they're not drawing. And as soon as they draw, like they have to jam it. Oh, thank you. They have to jam because they're scared of the gauntlet. This is really cool. Is it worth running one for your Proco? No, because we want to turn 1. It's worth the ability. And with things like Class Act, like the extra copies are not as burdensome. Don't trash that. Manually trash this. Install this for free. We've got like 3 as triggers. Not great, but what can you do? I'm worried that they're only on 3 2s. They have a virtual tour somewhere. Oh, I found it. That's a problem because that virtual tour is going to cost us 3 tags. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with the virtual tour? What do we do? Can we afford to eat this? 5 and then a trace and then 3 tags? Oh, it's not actually 5 because of Miss Bones. So it's 3 tags. We have to, right? Or do we just build up turning wheel counters? I don't know. Oh, that's bad because now they're going to break our draw. So I feel if we have to trash things, we have to trash everything. Because this is the first time a turn. So we trash this, then we clear 3 tags, and that's our whole turn. So that's really bad. 3 of these is obviously extreme. Yeah, that's a bit too much for us. We could put down the pad tap. Cost us very little. We could run HQ. We know 3 of the cards in hand. 1 just slipped through. We could run HQ. I think we should run HQ. Proco is not unique. Fascinating. I honestly think this could be right. They have a psychographics, but that's all they have. So if we get to 6 points, we definitely can win off the Stargate. And if we Stargate, we don't have to trash this, but it doesn't really change much because we have to trigger AR enhanced security, and then we also have to break this, which also doesn't change much. Do we run HQ for 6 credits? The other thing is we can pay 2 credits to get a Turning Wheel token, which is like fine. Oh man, this is really bad. Oh man, getting 3 out, yeah, that's really really annoying. I think we're just gonna falsified and call it a day. No, we can use falsified when we know what these are, so it's just money. We don't need money. We'll just Proco one more time. That seems less than relevant. Does Stargate trash? Yes, it trashes Ares because this you trash the card. Run R&D instead of accessing reveal the top, trash one of the revealed cards. If it said the corp trashes the card, it wouldn't happen, but because we're trashing it doesn't matter. Okay. Protecting R&D. Okay, so we actually can run HQ here, but it's unlikely that they got 2 ice. They drew an agenda. Yeah, Joe, we saw they have a psycho in hand. They already have it in hand too. Oh, red team. Wait, is diversion correct? No, it's a red team. It's definitely red team. Career fair red team. Run HQ. We have to break all the subroutines, unfortunately. I don't know if it's fully EOI yet because we haven't seen any 3-pointers, but there probably is foods, if not Bologna's. Market forces, more tag punishment. Bologna? We win! The gauntlet won! Oh, GG. Was that in there for a while? The red team dream, Brian. Ah, that tracks. That tracks. Man, 3 Aries. Yeah, that was wild. Woo. But like we felt like Control Shaper. Like we had 20 credits for most of the game. We were hitting Proco. We were controlling the board. We didn't have any reasonable way. Like a missed bones on turn 1 is a different thing. The red team was key. Red team forced us to do the right play. Yeah, you too. Cheers. Yeah, we found next week deck week of the week. Oh my god. There's no reason this should be an Az deck. We've fired Az 4 times. And you know what gets better with the gauntlet? Zaya. But we have to cut cards. But we play Zaya. Oh, when they leave, their art changes back. I did not realize that. But they left the room, so their art decisions reverted. Now I'm listening to the Gauntlet from the Payday 2 soundtrack. I do not. I probably have heard that song. I've played some Payday 2. But there's no reason we should be Az, really. That's a shame. Make job more relevant. We're doing another? This is going okay, I guess. I think Az makes sense for the early Proco. It saves you 1 credit, like, which doesn't really make sense. Like, it's really not worth it. If you career fair, like, you're already installing it for 1 or 2 credits, that doesn't change much. If you have a hedge fund, or sure gamble, excuse me, that doesn't change much. The link was relevant for a little. Yeah, the link is nice, but like, who else has link? Not Zaya. You can't play as what's his name anymore. What ID could be better? Fenris would be fine. Not Fenris. Cambridge would be fine. If you can cut it down to 40 cards, you'd be okay in Zaya. Oh, okay. This is gonna be trickier. We do have an opening Proco, so I'm just not gonna consider this. I'm just gonna keep Proco career fair. 1 credit career Proco. Like 1 credit Proco does sound absurd, and it's going okay. Is this what Netrunner pros mean when they say playing Gauntlet before maging turnos? Yeah, yeah. Before you have a major tournament, you always have to run the Gauntlet. So we're running the Gauntlet today. It's a really good tradition. Riding the red team high. Okay, so this is Saraswati, which is traps galore. Generally, they're showing us our hand. Subliminal. Okay. Well, hold on. We have to unpack this. So they have an anoetic. We don't have a way to deal with that. Actually, no. We have one pull up. They have a Hyobu precog, which we have no way of dealing with. They put a macrophage on HQ, which means they're definitely on Cyberdeck Sandbox or a mind game, mind you. But the macrophage does imply the sandbox. Did you beat Ronnie? Yeah, Rash. We got it. We got through. We want to run every turn. Unfortunately, we don't have dirty laundry or any way to like really credit positively do that. But hey, I think we're gonna run R&D here and then play the daily casts. This is the opposite of our game plan, but generally they struggle with economy, and I want to learn more about their deck. Karuna is not what I expected, so we want to do make runs. Looks like a really fun corp deck already. This is wild. It looks really wild. Hyobu plus precog is really mean. Is there an error in Discord for jamming games? Yeah, so sorry, Thanos answered you, but I always get wicked cold feet about just jumping onto Jaina and trying random games. Yeah, there's a GLC Discord channel. You totally ask, there's a looking for games. You can tag at mentor if you want to play with somebody who can like teach you the ropes, but there's a very robust looking for game channel. All right, so that could easily be the macrophage. What did we see off the top already? I totally forgot. What did we saw? Oh no, we saw Karuna. That could be a Karuna. Okay, Gamble's good. We want to get into the bin. Okay, so that's our play. Install for 3. Getting our ads value. And 13 credits is a fair bit. If we think this is a mind game, like we're pretty good at doing boomerang into diversion, which would be 2 credits for us. They're jamming in a remote server, and Anoetic will be there live and well, so pressuring cards is obviously very important. Single advancement with Saraswati and an Anoetic on top of it. So we definitely want to contest this. The issue is if it's an Anoetic, they can only trigger it twice. So we could boomerang run into it. If it is specifically a Nancy, it's a nightmare. If it's a Karuna, it's fine. We can even tank through the Karuna to some extent. Metro Grid, mind if I link it in here? No, Thanos, you probably won't be able to, but definitely try. Okay, so let's think here. We can definitely boomerang run. We could also just do boomerang into what we think is a mind game, and we could diversion. That takes 2 clicks, 3 clicks to install all of that, dropping them down to 8 credits. Changes very little about this turn. So I think we're just going to boomerang run this. Like if it's an Anoetic and they trigger the Anoetic, like that's totally fine for us. One of these is maybe even a macrophage, which is not particularly good. Oh, it's Enigma. Fantastic. That's actually very hard for us to deal with in the early game because we don't have a cheap decoder. They have to res the thing here. Oh, we're in? No, they're resing it. Okay, so they have to pay 2 credits and 2 cards. It's a real cost. Subliminal just makes our run, right? So this is going to deny the Subliminal too. But if they score a sandbox here, it's really good for them. Oh, Thanos nailed it. Just pasted the Discord invite to GLC. Yeah, if you can find that Elwin, that link is really good. Okay, chance of us getting back in here again, low. We know this is likely to be a mind game. So that's a 0 credit res plus a psi game for them. So don't really want to do that. So we'll pro-go once more. Pad tap or Rizeki. Rizeki is just a bit more resilient, so we'll install the Rizeki, throw out the paperclip. We'll keep the Bugalter in hand. Quad advance, sandbox. Oh, it's an off-world office. Still very good. And we're doing okay too. This remote server is a bit terrifying, but we want to deal with this as soon as we can. Like we want to trash this before it's relevant. Oh my god. Is that the gauntlet? It's not the right pick here. It's unfortunately not the right pick. Are we going to keep procoing? Red team, we want to get down boomerang or breakers. We kind of want to run. I don't know. Subliminal might be a big deal for them. They have the current in hand unless they threw it away, or sorry, the lockdown. So our clicks here, we could red team for 4, run archives with red team. That seems okay. Or we could class act. I'd rather class act. So I think we're just going to do install class act, install daily casts. So that'll be 6 credits down. That seems good. Falsifieds are going to be a really big deal because they're pretty secretive. And if we know what we need for the remote server. They get the Subliminal back too, which they can decide not to play and just keep this as buffer in hand. So they have more cards to discard with their Anoetic Void. Oh, the hats are red on this one? Is that the only card in which they have different colored hats? New remote server, it's a Spin Doctor drawing too, so their hand is full back up. They were on like 1 card a couple turns ago. But there's a Subliminal in there they might keep. Remote server, Subliminal, they didn't advance this. Oh, now they did. On the second card. So we don't have light to fire. If we had a pull up, it would be pretty sick. We do have a boomerang, but we have to be able to run the server twice, right? Because if we boomerang, then we can't get through it again. So like we could draw into our one of find breaker, install Amina, very expensive. So this is rough. Like we're just a bit too slow. Yo, Macaroni, how's it going? You ready for your, I think you have holiday, right? Coming up? Like this seems just a bit slow for us. We also could consider running the Spin Doctor first to pressure the cards from hand before thinking, but this is like a very fast deck. If we had a Black Orchestra, this would be a totally different game. So we could consider running the Spin Doctor just so that if they have to use Anoetic, it's a bit more awkward because they can't recur the cards. If I'm not mistaken, they play the Subliminal, so that's out of their hand. If we draw, we're looking for a 2 in 26 to find the Amina. Or technically more than that. We're looking at a 4 in 26 because a second Boomerang would be okay. An Amina would be okay. A Mutual Favor would be fine. The diversions aren't going to do anything. I think we have to daily casts. I mean, sorry. Wow. Proco. Ugh. Expose click 1. It doesn't matter whether we expose it or not, though, because we can't get in. Like, if we know what it is, it's fine. Like, we know this is an upgrade. We could have just exposed that. Money's not the big issue here. Stargate is actually much more valuable. It's not great while they have a Spin Doctor up, but, like, if this is the Macrophage or the Karuna, we're pretty happy. You're on vacation next week. Yeah, it's Gold Week, right? So I think we just tear this down. We can install Miss Bones for 1. It's okay. I think they're going to pop it. Maybe we should have installed Miss Bones. It's only 1 credit, though, with our ability. Cat, how's it going? It's going good. We put together a Proco as, and, like, it's been fine. It's been kind of fine. How are you doing? How's work? Shuffled back in Celeb, GIF, and 1 unknown card. We have too many cards in hand. I guess we're just falsified. I'm going to just say the safer one. I'd rather know what this upgrade is. It's a Rashida. They bamboozled us. This is the Rashida, and then they installed an advanced and upgrade on top of it. That is amazing. That is really, really, really cool. I am super into that. Okay, we have way too many cards in hand. That's the problem with our Proco and our Class Act. Like, we're just drawing way too much. We want these. We definitely want the Breaker. So we have to discard 1 more. Unfortunately, it's the red team. Oh, and suppose click 1 would have helped us plan. It wouldn't have changed anything. We're just doing that for money. Like, there's no way we're going to run the remote server because we just can't deal with Anoetic. So I hear you, but, like, not really. Not that I don't hear you, but, like, I don't think it actually changes the turn. Biovault is advanced card? Oh, could be. Yeah, but Joe, they did use their ability, so in theory could be anything. Biovault would be, like, the most, like, good for them because they paid a credit for it. But maybe just for that bluff, it's good enough. Who knows? Work is eating my soul. Oh, shit. I'm sorry to hear. Are you working on something cool or is it just taking too much time? Vladgrid? Oh, Vladgrid's an option, actually. Yeah, Vladgrid's interesting. I don't think we've seen enough influence to rule it out. We've seen Proco Planogram. That's it. Okay, we're really just Stargate. Hopefully we win. We can Proco first. Boomerang seems better. Boomerang diversion drops him down to 10. No, we're just going to do Stargate. Boom. Unfortunately, we won't be able to. Actually, you know what? The Bagalta would probably be better because we're hoping this is a Karuna. If it is, this Macrophage is kind of okay. It's a Karuna, yeah. So this actually would have been better. We also can just like go through this because especially if we're Stargating, it's not like we're going to hit a snare. Hedge Fund Rashida Sandbox. We'll just trash that. So they have a Hedge Fund coming up. And now we're kind of forking them. But it looks like it's a matchup we're going to have to steal 4 agendas. So let's see. We've seen 1 Spin Doctor so far. They just drew a Hedge Fund. We haven't seen any like really expensive ice. It looks like they're pretty like close to the ground and are going to try and rush out a bit. Yeah, all good. We're going to be getting 3 credits at the top of the turn. We have access to Bagalter. First time a turn, it breaks this for 2 credits, which is pretty good. We don't need the second Boomerang. Mind you, every time that we use the Boomerang Shuffle, it disrupts our Class Act organization, but it's not like we're like really using Class Act aggressively. There's only certain cards we really want to bottom for the game, things like Proco 2 and 3, but everything else is fine. Wow. Damn, that's a rush deck. That's cool. Okay, that's an issue, but again, we can deal with that. That could be a Proco. Do we want to check if, sorry, this is a Spin Doctor? I think we are going to check. I'm going to guess Agenda, but if it's an asset, it's bad. It's a Rashida. Shit. Second Rashida. So I do think that was a bad click. That's a really ugly click, honestly. Because now we have to do Begalter, Boomerang, Run. Ugh. Maybe we just pick up the Sandbox. I think we will. We'll just wait a turn. But the Rashida means they're going to draw into Agendas, which is obviously very awkward for us. Surprised to still see these hats? Yeah, maybe they'll be out by May. I don't know. I know there's like people wanting to buy these cards, which is really cool. We'll run Archives. Yeah, I really don't like that turn. I'm surprised they haven't found an agenda yet, but we did see the next two cards on the deck. So they threw out the Macrophage. We turned off their money too. So we'll just keep Procoing. Pull up is really important. Pull up means we can contest the remote server to some extent. And we know that there is on HQ a mind game, which is 0 to res 4 cost, and then they have to play a side game. Or sorry, 0 to res 4 strength, and it's a code gate. They have to play a side game, and it will put us onto a different server if they win. Tranquility Grid, they have a Saraswati install advance, so they can actually score at like 5-3s, right? Pretty aggressively. Advance, so it looks like it is Biovault, yeah. Oh, we're still really far away from contesting this remote server. Like, we're just not fast enough. We're still going to try. We're definitely still going to try. Could this be a Jumon deck? It's, I think, less likely, but I wouldn't say never. I'm going to do this. If they end the run here, like, it's funny how much of a struggle Enigma is when our only answer is Amina. We also could have gone HQ to put down the Paul up, which might have been reasonable. But I'm pretty sure they're going to Biovault this. This is only 2 credits. It's not. Wow. Cyberdeck's Fire Suite, which is fine. Mind Game, which honestly we can't deal with. And a Spin Doctor, which is annoying. Yeah, I think they're just running like the good agenda suite. I think the Mind Game is the problem for us. Then we'll Proco last click so we can draw into the Boomerang potentially. Man, Amina would be so good right now. I think we only break, oh no, we break Mind Games for 4 credits. Pad Tap, probably fine. The Pad Tap triggers a heck of a lot with Tranquility. All right, so they're drawing into a, what was it, Hedge Fund, Mind Game, Spin, right? That's not good. Oh, that's really quite bad. Yeah, this is good. They're just rushing to the remote server. 6 credits means like we're very close to getting a good diversion, but like they can still just Nisei it or Biovault it. Both of those will be a problem. Unfortunately, the Gauntlet is not what we want now. Inside Job is good. Inside Job is cute. We can't Inside Job with Stargate. We know the top card of the deck is a Spin Doctor right now. So we'll just Proco once more. I think we'll play the money. It's not Gauntlet. Any card they draw, they're going to jam. So I don't think we need it. Now at this point, they can score out a 5-3 pretty easily with Saraswati, and they have 3 end the runs on the remote server. The Anoetic, the Biovault, and the Nisei Mark II. The issue is economy. Yeah, the issue right now is economy for sure. So the diversions could matter. We've thrown out 1. I think we've bottomed 1. But we did shuffle. Pad Tap, going to trigger off the Subliminal. Install card, likely to be the Spin Doctor. But they advanced it. So I don't know. Maybe we just lose. Maybe this is just way too slow. The fact that we need an Amina, like this would be so good. I guess they had a Macrophage, but having a turtle here would be perfect. That's what we want. And they hedge fund. So now the money's not an issue. Amina or bust. Mutual favor is basically Amina, right? But now with like, we have 3 clicks left and they have 2 end the run counters. So, you know, what can you do? CBS purges. We see some really cheap. Yeah, they're really low to the ground. So this could be it. The fact that they advance it means it's probably it, right? Like there's no way that's this. You can't second advance the Spin Doctor. So that's going to be the game because we have 2 clicks left and they have 2 end the runs. So not much we can do. We can solve the Amina. We're over MU, right? Right. Gauntlet, very good. And then we can just, out of respect, we can Stargate, but this should run it and immediately. Yeah, they rushed us out. This is way too fast for us. And from turn 1, they clearly wanted to go. Even if we Stargate here, like it doesn't do anything if they win next turn, so they don't have to end the run. The Proco was still good. Like getting Proco down for 1 credit is still just good enough. We just don't have reliably ways to draw to our breakers. And like the fact that an Enigma on the remote server is enough to hold us out feels really bad. All right, that's them. GG. We're doing okay. We saw a fair bit of our deck, like with the Proco draws, and oh no, ooh. It looks like it's just another Biovault. With the Proco draws and then like the Class Act tutoring, we do see a fair bit. Oh, just a sandbox. Okay. Game's still on. We know the 1 card. There's only 1 card in hand we know. Subliminal. Pad tap triggers already off of the Cyberdeck sandbox. They're on 13 credits. Okay. Stargate still could eat the Nisei token. We really need to eat this Nisei token so we can continue the remote server because we have access to all our breakers. The economy is a bit dried up, but I thought we already lost there. Tranquility Home Grid. I think that's a Spin Doctor, so I don't want to Stargate here. I really do think that's a Spin Doctor. So I think if anything, we just want to set up for money. So if we Diversion of Funds, we're going to spend 1 to make the run, 4 to break the ice. They're going to lose 6 credits unless they Nisei us, which would be pretty disastrous. Running HQ is also kind of awkward because it's not that valuable. Like there's a chance that all we want to do here is Bravado into R&D. We'd probably get through everything just to get like an R&D proper access. Because this is going to be 2 credits here. This is going to be 2 credits there in full. So 3, well, technically 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, we're actually short. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have to click for credit first. And by that, I mean pad tap. I don't think it's the Gauntlet still. Don't you want to burn off the Nisei counter before it's game point? Yeah, we do. We do. Can you get us remote all without the pull up? No, we need the pull up down. You're right. I definitely think that's more important. So I think we just Bravado HQ. It's going to cost us 4. And then we can get the pull up down and we'll use our as ability, which is nice. How's it going, by the way, movie? Yeah, there's the mind game. We knew about that since turn 1. This is an interesting card because you can force them to just spend credits. If you run spend a different number, the runner's now running on that server instead of passing game. For remaining to run, the runner must add 1 install called Bottom stack as additional cost to jack out, which is pretty mean. Excuse me? Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, the thing with this card is like it technically costs money when you play it, but yeah, Mind Game is a good card. It's just much better if you have it outermost. Or sorry, innermost, so that people can't force you to pay credits, but it usually isn't an issue. Planogram, okay. So we make our money. So we can definitely get down our pad tap. Sorry, our pull up. Do we want to get a pad tap down too? I feel like we do. Okay. So next turn we can consider diversion. Hopefully we eat the Nisei token. I'm assuming that is like it has to be the 1/3/2 if they're playing longevity. I don't think they're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that makes more sense that it's Spin Doctor. Spin Doctor drawing 2. We don't know anything about their hand besides a planogram that we just saw, which they can definitely draw for an agendas. And they threw out, they still have their current in it. Spin Doctor, so like they get their lockdown, mind you. They can install a card and play their lockdown. Like we have so much work to do. Spin Doctor Biovault Mind Game. Pad tap triggering twice off the Tranquility. So akin to clicking for credit, but with Progo, it's technically worse because we can draw a card. Sarswati. Pad tap. What's Corp ID over Plana Other just for the vault installs? Yeah, it's like click compression. So it also lets you do interesting things where you can aggressively draw and then last click install Advance of 4/2. Like that's cool. Plana is actually a bit of a nightmare sometimes with pad tap, so it's less exciting to some ways, but this also lets you do weird bluffs where like they installed an upgrade on top of Rashida and like kind of matters. All right, very likely to be the winning agenda. Sarswati is this card. So that would be the agenda of anything. They could easily put a second Anoetic in there. So now we really have to think because this is definitely our last turn and there's an upgrade on R&D, which is a problem. So we can run HQ. If we want to do with diversion, like we need to eat this somehow. If we diversion HQ, that's 2 clicks. It's going to cost us 5 credits. We maybe get 5 credits back. Aaron, how's it going? I didn't say on the last stream when you left to have a happy birthday weekend. I hope you did. So we can diversion there. That's half our turn, and then we could run. But run probably doesn't work out. Like, I think they can just eat the diversion. Like, they can lose 5 credits. So I think we just have to go with this remote server. So Proco once. Then we just inside job the remote server. No, we run. We just run the server, inside job the server, run the server in some order. I don't think we have it. Have a happy birthday or else. Palisade. Actually taxing? It's an Eli with no downside. I had a funeral. I hope you're not joking. Wait, no, hold on. That's not the wrong sentence. I hope that's fuck. You know what I mean? I hope that's ugh. I've embarrassed myself. I hope that's a joke. All right, we're out of money. Wow, rude. I know. Fuck. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant to say I hope you're joking. We have lost. It's wild. Palisade will just do it. That's it. We can't even afford to pull up the anoetic, so none of this matters. Breach server. That's it. Shit. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So we can pull up. Rip Andre. Yeah, I know. I haven't played much since Booster Pack. How's it going, Pick One? Always good to see the best NR streamer. Thank you. Getting absolutely destroyed by the world's most base Saraswati gamer. Feels okay. Their game plan is like pretty cogent. I like it. Like we just can't afford to run this. Like maybe we should have. I think an issue is that they did exactly what they should be doing, which is like forcing us into this false sense where we think we can interact with them, where if we just played control, we'd be much better off. Good game. That was not even close. Like not even the slightest bit close. We had more money than them, but I don't think that matters. We installed this, which was a joke. It was a Managarm. Okay, so we can't deal with that. But yeah, they just do Managarm Skunkworks run. Like if they don't get a Nisei token, this is where you play like obviously what's it called? Light the Fire to get value. But I'm really worried that I'm gonna lose to this sort of stuff. Like it's just like, oh, I got a Palisade and Managarm Anoetic, that's it. The Nisei counter closes down so many avenues, can't even get a Duke goof. The Doof doesn't matter. Like they're on 15 credits. They score out for 3 credits. Like their ice doesn't cost much. All 4-2s and maybe Gene Splicer? No, I think they're all on all 4-2s and food. They're probably just playing like the closest to like the PD type suite. Thanks for the game. Their ice suite is probably like, I'm surprised Karun is in there, but I reckon that there's no sentry that this list wants to run. But it's probably all like the neutral stuff. Because and maybe Thimble Rig. Oh, I guess also Mind Game. What advantage does Sara have over PD? Anoetic Void is in influence, so you can play 3 of them. You confuse people a bit more. Click compression technically, so you can like more. I guess it like is pseudo seamless, right? Because you can draw and then jam last click and still score out. I think Nisei Mark II might actually be pretty impactful, considering you know people love deep diving and stuff like that. But like, is this probably less consistent and worse than HB? Yeah, probably. Is it good? Seems okay. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed. Is Saraswati even the best identity for this ability? I don't even know. Does the deck need to run 2 subliminals? I don't know. We need to see more of it. But like, it looked pretty compelling. The thing is, like, their remote server was actually really quite bad against like just a Black Orchestra. Like, if you play Black Orchestra Hippo, this remote falls apart. But like, we could not deal with an Enigma more than once a turn. Like, it's the huge downside of Boomerang is things like Anoetic, right? Like, we can deal with it once. We can't deal with it more than once. But if we had to look at Black Orchestra, we break this for 3. Like, we could actually contest the remote server because they were very on a razor's edge. Assuming 3 box, then 3 Cyber Sandbox, 2 MK, 3 Office, 2 GFI. Yeah, something like that. There's a chance that there's more MKs than offices. I would, yeah, a lot of times people run like 3 Sandbox, 2 Office, I think, and then 3 Nisei, and then 2 food, I think is enough points. I'm not actually sure. But there's a chance that the Nisei ability is much more relevant. They also had the lockdown, mind you, right? Like yeah, they had even more tech to like jam out the first agenda, which is really good. If a lot of their agendas snowball either in value or in terms of like the end the run counter. Man, what do you play as a decoder? Like, I'm so used to being able to afford a Mina at some point in the game, but we just can't afford Amina. We just can't. We can't do it. 2011 world champ. Unity? Yeah, do you pay influence for Unity? Because Unity is also not particularly good. I think Turtle is correct. I just feel like we weren't running enough for this deck to have Turtle. But yeah, Turtle, like, I think there are cards that we should cut out of this list, right? Like, we probably want to cut the Hernando. I don't think we've played it. We're going to leave the Gauntlet in because it's great. Probably cut the red team, admittedly. And, like, probably play a Turtle, maybe another Mutual Favor. Unity's really good. Yeah, we don't have the influence for it, though. But I feel like we could make some changes to make this. Okay, family owned and operated. Okay, so this deck, we have to play around, like, 2 big ice. We have to play against Trebuchet. We have no disruption. We have no fast advance hate. So like it's Stargate or bust. We need to keep our money up so we don't get hard hitting news in theory. Hey Bass. Thanks, you too. This hand doesn't have a Proco in it. This one doesn't either. 2 gauntlets opening hand. What is the game plan for this runner deck? We want to just play like mid-range to control. Basically like Proco, camp remote. But like it's really kind of hard to do that. Let's get a bad pub. Okay, cool. We have to just set up. I'm so used to Procoing. 1 for each hand. We could definitely want to set up with the drip and the daily cast of Rozeki. Rozeki probably first. The classic comes down for 3. So I think we just kind of take it here, like just go a bit slow. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money we can draw into that like lets us recover from here. Falsified is unlikely. This is really important, but we have to deal with Trebuchets, which we probably want to boomerang. Trebuchets generally cost us like 6 credits, which is pretty bad. This is one of the cards you drew. One of those cards. Yeah. I think Falsified's the least good, but it's the strongest economy card. I feel like Gauntlet should be the only console you can have 2 of. At least actually we'll have bad publicity because this gives bad publicity. So we'll be able to cheaply break. Government subsidy on top of that, I guess. All right, so we can no longer diversion. We could doof into diversion. It's not amazing. I feel like we have to take a couple slow turns. Now I regret throwing out the thing. We'll draw. Career Fair, that's a good draw. Unfortunately, we have to put the Stargate at the bottom, which is actually like one of the best cards in the matchup. Hopefully we shuffle relatively soon with Boomerang. But like we need to bootstrap ourselves with this. Okay. Credit. Doof into diversion? Boomerang into diversion. Aaron, were you joking or not? I feel like a dick. Whatever. Second ice, Boomerang protection. Again, Stargate would have been really quite good here. I think we can do the doof into diversion, Boomerang into diversion, but the issue is that like 17 credits. Doesn't really change anything. It's just money for us. But money for us, we're spending like 2 credits because we get the ads refund and then we get 5 credits back. It's for 3 clicks. It's not great. Draw. Okay, we'll keep that. I feel like we're struggling. A Trebuchet trashes any installed card, so it's a kind of a disaster. Okay. We still haven't shuffled yet, so we're not gonna draw into our thing. It was not. Got a free trip out of Newfoundland. Ah, beans. Sorry. Seamless. Wow, okay. Broad daylight. Okay, we don't. Click to do 2 meat damage. They took a bad publicity. Fantastic. All right, we don't know what's happening anymore. I think we could consider running HQ. They've scored at 2 agendas. They've played 10 cards, so unlikely to be an agenda in there. There's a reason to get a pad tap down. I'm going to get this down first. I think we're just going to doof here. Did we bottom the Stargate? Yeah, we did. So we're going to have to shuffle it here. This is a bit greedy, this Stargate. This turning wheel. It's a mouseless. That's fine. That actually triggers our pad tap. There's a reason to put multiple pad taps before. I feel like there should be 5 different resource cards representing 5 gems, and you play them all with Gauntlet instead, you win the game. All right. Access here is actually a bit better. Diversion drops them down to 9, which means they can actually too big to fail, We also have to keep cards up in our hand. Because if they hit our Bulk Altar, actually, whoa, we do not respect that. If they hit our Bulk Altar, we're in a really bad spot. Diversion. Yeah, you would say that, Thanos. Yeah. Ugly. Ugly hand. That's a bit fitting. Yeah, we need to get this on the table because this is our, in theory, like we can always boomerang trebuchets. But at this point, we just want to see the top card of R&D. If there's any trashables, we get through them with bad publicity, and building up the turning wheel is a way that we can win. We've also shuffled our deck. So our first draw, let alone our 4 draws after that with Class Act when we install, can be quite potent. This is also really shit. This is a really hard ice for us to deal with because to break all of these subroutines to get our value from our gauntlet is not going to happen. Actually, no, with Amina we do. Never mind. We do break all the subroutines with Amina. So here we could go HQ. They drew a fair bit. So I think we could install Bravado and then last click either install the Class Act or install the Bulk Altar. I feel like they might actually be on like an urban renovation, urban renewal type game plan. Get our AS dollars, run HQ, get a Pat Tap dollar. They'll get a Pat Tap dollar, which puts them at 10, which is good. Because then they can't. Too big. Breach server. Clearinghouse. There you go. That's what I'm expecting. That makes sense. Shuffle, trash. We've already asked, so we'll pay for this privilege. Gauntlet's back, but again, breaking all subroutines a bit tricky until we get our Amina down. We have another diversion, but this deck runs too big to fail very often. The what's it called? The Stargate's in there somewhere. Do we have a falsified? No, not in this hand. 19 credits. So the issue is if we run with just Bulk Altar, like we get absolutely hosed by Tithonium or Bulwark. So we kind of need everything. Let's draw. Okay. You do get a fair few triggers with Pad Tab. Do you think Breaker Suite is optimized? I think we should have redundancy with Amakua. Because Amakua, like in the early game, would have been great. We would actually had Amakua counters. But no, probably not. You're going to install the Bulk Altar and you didn't. If they hit it, you have only yourself to blame. Yeah, I know. Slowly. Like, I don't want to run, right? I just want to install this and run. Like, it's going to be bad for us. Okay, we have 7 cards. If we install 2, we install 2. Do we even sure gamble? We've drawn this turn already, right? Yeah. I guess. We have to keep our money up to some extent. We have to install an Amina, so yeah, we have to be a bit greedy. But no Proco. Haven't even seen one. 3 and 25. We can be on game point pretty fast here. If they score an above the law, trash our turning wheel. Feels bad. We haven't seen any tag punishment, but we've seen very few cards. I always feel really sad when the best way to improve a Breaker Suite is to add Turtle. It's a good card. It's a flexible card. It's an interesting card. Like, it makes interaction relevant, makes you care about ice. Like, I think there's a lot of good things going on with Turtle. All right, that fired our Pad Tap. We have 3 bad publicity, and Amina would be sick. I guess we just go get our Amina. I think we just go get our Amina. That we just need our paperclip. Got a mutual favorite, got Pippi the hard way. I think we're gonna grab Amina. Yeah, because of this sort of situation. Actually, yeah, but there's less likely to be end the runs. Like, it's only maybe an Akat on remote. Make Crips is great again. Let's see too. Bulwark, that's a reason to get paperclip. Border control, that's a reason we're getting a paperclip, y'all. Okay. Amina, Stargate, still in deck. No mutual favors. Seamless. Uh-oh. Did we lose? No, but they can do 4 main damage in a turn. Oh, we lose to the last hostile. We've done nothing. We just not like, yo, jogging, how's it going? Hello, good vibes. We just haven't done enough. We just haven't done enough. I don't even remember what we saw at the top. We saw Tithonium into Bulwark. So we need to keep 4 cards in hand at all times. If we hit a snare, we lose. I'm one of those grubby folks who thinks AI breakers should be capped at like overmind power level. I think we might just take 4 damage for the next 2 turns. But you done good vibes. What else is there to do? We tried. I really hope that we don't lose to hostile. We lose to some amount of broad daylight spam. Okay. Ow. I used one of them. Keep hitting me. We should have kept our paperclip in hand. Ow. What are you going to do now? You score a third one, you win. We're in a lock. Well, technically not. They can do 4 damage next turn. So we draw to 4, and then from there, they can only do 2 damage a turn. But they're just waiting for the hostile. It's really awkward. Okay. We actually should pick their worst cards because we're going to discard them. Drawing last click was a bit risky because if they hit the Amina, it's a bit bad. Oh, losing 2 boomerangs here is really bad. Yeah, drawing last click was probably wrong. Because if we don't run, there's no damage that they can hit us with. Your deck is just worst cards? What are you talking about? It's staples. All right. You happy? Amina. Where is it? We didn't lose it at some point, did we? It's too late for Proco. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a snare, and then they're going to win off the snare. There's no way this is not the snare, but like they can give it any agenda here and it would be like fine. Ugh. So how do we not lose to snare? Install boomerang run. Whoredom we can't deal with. Mouseless we can like let fire, I guess. I'm going for it. We're gonna die to snare. Just watch. Or like an anemone. Oh my god, if it's an anemone, we also die. I guess I have to de-res something. Even a price tag. Like there's so many things we die to. Anything that does a single damage, it's gonna be a problem for us. Okay. Oh, we lose. It's a snare. It's a manic arm. Okay. Dying to snare is the most noble way to go out. Well, technically we died at broad daylight. CityWorks project. Dedication. Fantastic. This is what they call a fork. Is there any way that we can take? We need a light the fire. There's so many decks. Okay, how do we possibly win? 8 meat damage. Then we have to have 12 cards. Yeah. We lost. We're gonna lose on 0 agenda points. It's gonna be sick. Needs a recon drone, obviously. I think recon drone's only net damage. Is it all damage? Draw, run easy. I think you're right. Like that's the only honorable way. Double Proco, sick. You see, this game we didn't draw a Proco turn 1. Such a difference. As value, so important. Draw, orb, fantastic. We have an I've had worse in here, right? Border control is likely on the remote. You just need 12 cards in hand plus 4 extra to survive the broad daylight. Yeah, no, it's no big deal. No, we need 8. We need 12. We just need 12. No, we need 12 in total. We need 8 for this, 12 for this. So we're halfway there. If we can double our hand in 1 click, that'd be cool. I guess we just went off R&D. We steal a 4-pointer into a 3-pointer. Or something. Oh, that's good. Guru works here? Yeah, Guru does work here. This is different than Opakata. It's worth knowing. This doesn't say it's an additional cost to steal it. It's as when you access it. So anything that prevents meat damage actually does prevent this. Cool enough that this this fork works against Citadel Sanctuary because you have to trash your whole hand, which means the broad daylights get you. Triggers, go. Continue the movement. Yeah. If you border control here, Seabass, I swear to God, that is so disrespectful. We have 2 clicks left and you're border controlling. Okay, you just made us more powerful. We're coming back with the turning wheel. We're just so much more powerful right now. I don't get why there aren't 7-point agendas. It would be the best agenda in the world. Oh no. We can't encourage this. Okay, we're going to hit a government takeover, illegal hedge fund into seamless. That's a game. Good game. Light of fire would have worked. Yeah, light of fire totally would have worked. We would have taken brain damage, which is like interesting, but fine. We got rolled. Like we can't do it. We just can't get our breakers soon enough. Like we need more mutual favors. Like we have money, we have, you know, tricks and stuff. We just can't deal with ice remote. Like ice on remote just doesn't work. And so I think like us sitting back and pseudo procoing, we're just not enacting enough pressure. We're not finding our breakers. We have gauntlet in a deck. There's a lot of things that aren't going in our favor. That being said, when it works, it works. So we've learned nothing. We've learned nothing, but that's the friends we made along the way. Anywho, we have a store championship on Saturday at noon at the Silver Goblin. Technically noon 30, but the store opens at noon, so we'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Things were looking really good for a minute, and then the more we play, the worse it looks. That's kind of how it goes. And I think that's gonna be it. Government takeover +1. Yo, good game, JT. I forgot what I was gonna say. You finished the game with 34 credits, so there's that. We actually had 34 credits. This deck is a pot smoker? No, this deck is great. Real talk though, like I think there's something interesting here. I do think maybe like it's wild to say that a 1 credit proco, there's no way the meta is fast enough, too fast for a 1 credit proco in turn 1. That happens like 30% of the games or whatever the number is. For us, it was like most of the games. But I just feel like we need to capitalize on this. Like if we have an Amakua so that our runs actually generate more additional value, like you need stuff like that, right? And I think we've seen that a fair bit. That's largely it. We'll be next week. We'll be back. I think Pat might be here next week, considering it is May, the month of May. I think that's it. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. This deck seems unfocused. It's just all the good stuff. What are you talking about, Aaron? Yeah, it's not particularly focused. It also has the gauntlet in it because we need 2MU for some reason. But no, it's not doing particularly anything special. It's just basically good stuff criminal with Proco in it and seeing how that goes. But it's not good enough, is it? Anywho, that'll be us. I still got to figure out what corp to play on the weekend. I'll probably play as. Whether I should or not is a different issue. We'll report next week to see how that goes. But that's largely it. Thanks so much for everyone hanging out in chat. Everyone who's watching the VOD, hopefully you're having a good enough time. Enjoy your week. And everyone play games with good games. We'll be back in a week. Thanks for streaming. Disperse my pleasure. Take care.